Recognition to our new alums, our students who will be graduating next month and are joining us today. We hope we can keep you here in New Mexico and want to support your efforts as you begin your career. Throughout this pandemic, the UNM Alumni Association continues to be busy supporting alums, students, and the university. As a graduate of UNM, you are automatically a member of the Alumni Association. There are no dues or fees as a member. It's a service to you as a Lobo grad. There are so many ways you can stay actively connected to the Alumni Association. We have more than 18 regional chapters and groups from East to West Coast, and we have 11 cultural and interest-based chapters. We invite you all to join a chapter based on your interest or in your region, or if you live in Albuquerque, we have one here as well. Our groups are active in supporting students and universities, fun events such as athletic watch parties and academic lectures, and special events to celebrate your connection to UNM. Visit unmalumni.com for group details. While you're there, be sure to register using Alumni Connect so you can get our monthly newsletter, The Howler, which will keep you up to date on all association happenings. It's a pleasure to greet and welcome you each this morning. Please enjoy the career fair and stay connected to the Alumni Association.
Thank you, Connie. What a wonderful introduction. Be sure to use the resources through the UNM Alumni Association. They're really great and they're there for you as students and alumni. I would like to introduce myself formally. I'm Monica Sandoval-Johnson, and I help run Boomerang, New Mexico, formerly STEM Boomerang. Many of you have known this from our original name. Myself and founder Maggie Werner-Washburn started this initiative in 2017 when we found a need for many of the STEM professionals, either in state or out of state, who were looking for a job in New Mexico's high-tech ecosystem, but it was hard to navigate. So we came in to help that process. And so our job, or at least what we think our job is to connect STEM professionals and job seekers like yourself with STEM companies here in the state. And there are many. There's over actually 3,000 STEM companies that are registered to do business in New Mexico that are considered STEM. Which is surprising, but we will show 17 today, which is really exciting, really doing some innovative work, and they will discuss their hiring needs. So I have met and seen a lot of different companies come through and establish in New Mexico. And so I can verify that there are lots of jobs available for you as highly skilled STEM professionals. So we're here to help you do that. So many of you maybe have filled out a profile on our website at boomerang-nm.com. It takes about 4 minutes and you upload your resume. This gets into a database, and this is the database that we search when looking to help fill hiring needs within companies. So it's free for you as a job seeker and for the UNM alums and UNM students, so please feel free to do that. You can email us if you have questions about any jobs that you see posted through any websites or through hosted through our sites as well at info@stemboomerang.com. And so we welcome you all here and thank you for attending. And so our first segment is going to be in the space arena. And so Casey Durad and her team run New Space New Mexico, and their goal is to make New Mexico the place for space. And I've heard her say that before. They have successfully worked with a lot of space companies here. So we're happy to have them here and moderating this section. And so Casey, would you like to go ahead and get going?
Sure. Hi, everyone, and welcome. So happy that you could join us. I want to thank Connie and the UNM Alumni Association for sponsoring this. It's a great event. And of course, thanking my very close partners and hope to continue partnering with Monica Sandoval-Johnson and Maggie Werner-Washington with Boomerang, New Mexico. I guess I keep trying to call it STEM Boomerang, but it's Boomerang, New Mexico. They're doing great things, and we're hoping that they keep partnering with us because they really help us connect the space companies to the workforce out there. So happy to be here also with my friends from the New Mexico Tech Council and New Mexico Bio. So we'll get this going. So just to give a quick introduction for myself, I am a New Mexican, a UNM alum. I have my bachelor's and master's in electrical engineering from UNM. And I know Connie wanted us to tell wherever there's UNM alums, whoop, 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 right? So I definitely love I love all my New Mexico universities, but have a special fondness for UNM. Anyway, so I worked with the Air Force Research Lab developing, worked on satellite systems and electronics to start. Latter part of my career was building partnerships with industry and academia, and was happy to set up a lot of partnerships with UNM and of our other universities. I retired about 3 years ago and decided to start New Space New Mexico because I saw so much opportunity in New Mexico, so much going on. And I'll show a couple slides, but I won't kill you with those. But there's just so much going on here. And then there's this new space age. There's a new sort of awakening of space. There's a lot of private investment, as you are all probably aware of. And so I really wanted to bring all of these organizations within New Mexico and these space companies and bringing them together. So we started New Space New Mexico, which is a nonprofit to grow the space industry from New Mexico for the nation. And I just want to share a couple slides, mainly not to share what's going on here. So I think I'm going to try and do it pretty quick. I always have trouble finding the right window, so just bear with me for a second. And hopefully Monica's letting me share. Okay, let's see. All right, that's not it. I have to show another. There it is. Okay, so okay, so the name New Space New Mexico, new space is this new space age that we're in. It's exciting times. We're looking at getting back to the moon and beyond in the next few years. They just started a whole new military service called Space Force. And so we see it as a new space age. And New Mexico was a leader in that first space age, the Apollo era. And so we think that we can continue leading. Oops, I should do the whatchamacallit. So we think we could continue leading, and we're looking at making New Mexico the place for space, as Monica has said. See, she knows our tagline. So New Space New Mexico, just really quick, is trying to accelerate the pace of space innovation by providing our space stakeholders, our members, with faster access to the right connections, resources, customers, collaborations, and workforce, which is why we're here today. So we're trying to unite and ignite the space ecosystem. So just real quick, I wanted to share these slides because for some of you, I know Monica was talking about the 300 or so STEM companies. We have a list that has over 100 companies doing space in New Mexico. Actually, our number is at 137 right now. Last I looked, but a lot of you might think of the big hitters, kind of Honeywell, Boeing, Virgin Galactic, Northrop Grumman, but there are many, many, many small and medium companies working on space in New Mexico, and there's lots of opportunities there. And so we're hoping to share with you some of these companies. Also wanted to just share this slide because, like I said, we have so much going on in New Mexico. We have the only purpose-built spaceport, which is Spaceport America. Some of the other spaceports that are around the nation are reconfigured airports. This was purposely built to be a spaceport. So if you can imagine, that's right here in New Mexico near TRC. All of you should try and get a tour down there. It's really, really exciting. Like I said, so we have a number of Air Force organizations, but in December of 2019, Space Force was set up as a sixth military service, and we have three main Space Force organizations right here at Kirtland. Of course, Sandia Labs and Los Alamos Labs. Those are just amazing laboratories that are also working in space. Our three New Mexico universities, White Sands Test facility, and NASA is here in New Mexico. So I just wanted to share that really quick, just to give you a feel for what is happening here. So I want to next introduce my team that will be in the industry breakout session. And so we have Ariel D. Herrera, who's going to be moderating our space industry companies coming up here. And then we have Scott Maitner, who will be helping us at the breakout session. And so that's New Space New Mexico. So right now I want to introduce Ariel D. Herrera. She is what I call our utility player. She started out as an intern. She's still getting her MBA at Anderson at UNM right now, but she works with us full time. She started out helping us with some of the marketing, but has just grown and working in some of our workforce areas and just like I said, a utility player. So I'm going to turn it over to Ariel D. Herrera and let her introduce herself. And then she's going to introduce our awesome companies that we have today. Thank you.
Hi, so as Casey said, my name is Ariel D. Herrera. I am actually a UNM alumni as well as getting my master's there. I graduated with an undergrad in Latin American Studies, Spanish, Chemistry, and Biology. Currently working on my master's in business. Other than that, I started with Casey about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and it's been great. It's been very exciting. A lot of fun stuff going on in space. So, and then thank you, UNM Alumni and Boomerang, New Mexico, for allowing us to be part of this career fair. We are happy to bring you some of our top space companies to talk about opportunities available within their companies. So first, I will start with, I will start with Barbara Braun. Is she on for right now? Barbara Braun from Aerospace Corporation. Okay, it looks like she's not on yet. But
I see Joe Bullington if you want to start with Joe.
I'll start with Rocky actually. So we have Rocky Herrera from Solero Technologies. She is also a UNM graduate. She joined Solero's Human Resources Department as a technical recruiter in November of 2020. Solero Technologies was founded in 1998. It is a premier supplier of space solar power products for the global aerospace market. And since 2001, their solar cells and panels have supplied primary power to over 760 successful space missions from zero on orbit failures. So Rocky, go for it.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Nice to meet you. Thank you for the introduction. Again, my name is Rocky. I'm the technical recruiter at Solero. Forgive me if you see my eyes wander. I started in November, so I have a cheat sheet today. But yeah, we have quite a few opportunities here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Again, I'm a UNM graduate. We have many UNM alum here at Solero. At the top of the company, we have our Senior VP of Operations, as well as our VP and Chief Engineer. And then across different departments, we have management, marketing, engineers and R&D, as well as manufacturing. So there's definitely a lot of logos here at Solero, and we'd be happy to bring more on. So as far as some of the opportunities that we have open, it ranges from entry-level operators all the way up to management. And then that's also across manufacturing, a few different engineering departments, as well as in finance and project management. The environment here at Solero is really fast-paced and highly technical. Our best people are good at multitasking, and we're looking for people who are flexible. We have many projects going on currently, so we have rapidly changing priorities. We're meeting numerous deadlines. let's see, I'm trying to think of all the questions that you wanted us to address. Oh yeah, so a couple of exciting projects that we've worked on recently. I'm sure most of you have heard of the Mars helicopter that made its historical first flight this Monday. So we actually designed and built the solar panel that powered the Mars helicopter. So that was very exciting. And we're also currently working on the Lucy program that's going to be going to Jupiter. Let's see, for anyone interested in working at Solero, typically we don't need a clearance. If there happens to be a case that we do, of course, the company will sponsor it and we'll take care of that. Yeah, you don't really need it coming in. Also, there is a wide background as far as education and the people that we bring on and that do really well here at Solero. So I would say most of them have like a background in chemical, mechanical, aerospace, electrical, all the way down to biomedical engineering. We also have people with a background in physics, business, and economics. For myself, I actually have a bachelor's in psychology, which got me into HR. And then I ended up here doing technical recruiting. I would say the most important thing is just, you know, if you're a creative problem solver, you like to do hands-on work, you know, really get down to the nitty-gritty on technical roles, then we probably have a good place for you here at Solero. And just to let you know, I will have a couple people joining me to answer more of the technical side questions for anyone interested. So Samantha Whipple, she's our manager in the R&D department. She'll be logging in here soon. And then throughout this time, just depending on their work schedules, we'll have some engineers try to pop in and be available to answer questions as well.
Thank you, Rocky. All right, so we're gonna head back to Barbara joined us. So Barbara Braun from Aerospace Corporation. She is the Principal Director for Aerospace Enterprise Systems Engineering in the Corporate Chief Engineer's Office. And she is also a UNM alumni. She's a longtime resident of Albuquerque. She earned a master's in mechanical engineering from UNM. And she most recently was a systems director supporting the Space Rapid Capabilities Office on Kirtland Air Force Base and worked in the Space Test Program Office on Kirtland before that. She is highly experienced in small satellite programs, space rapid acquisition, prototyping, and experimentation. She has also written and published many extensively on these topics and a number of space policy topic areas. So welcome, Barbara.
Thank you. Let me first just make sure that everybody can hear me all right.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you. Well, yes, so I work for the Aerospace Corporation, and we are something that's called a federally funded research and development corporation. And what that really means is that we're a not-for-profit organization that supports the Air Force and the Space Force and the rest of the DoD and government customers, including NASA, and even some commercial customers. But because we don't have a profit motive, we are free to give unbiased advice and unbiased technical support to all these different agencies. So here in New Mexico, we have offices all around the country, in California, on the East Coast, and in Colorado. But here at Kirtland Air Force Base and in the greater Albuquerque area, we actually have the 4th largest office of our company, and it's probably the fastest growing office. And so we have a lot of positions available for engineers, systems engineers, electrical engineers, aerospace engineers. We have we provide support to the Air Force Research Laboratory, to the Space Test Program, to the Air Force and the Space Force generally here, but we also have a group that provides support to the launch program for the Air Force and also to NASA and various civil groups. So we have a lot of openings, and on our website, www.aerospace.org, which is in the chat now, you can find we can find our current openings, and you can also find points of contact to talk about. I've been working for aerospace now for about 20 years, and they're a fantastic company to work for. And our office here in New Mexico is a fantastic part of the fantastic company to work for. So we very much would like to hear from experienced engineers. We do like to have folks who have clearances or at least are clearable. But there's a lot of different roles to play, and right here in New Mexico for anybody who is interested. And my general manager, Mark Jelonic, will be on later this afternoon to answer questions and to interact with anybody who wants some more information. And you can find our contact information and my contact information. I'll provide it. We work closely with the schools here in New Mexico. We have an internship program, we have a scholarship program, and we are very interested in getting more people into aerospace here in New Mexico.
Thank you, Barbara. Next up, we have Miss Luca Esperescu from Ideas Tech. She is the Director of Operations, and she's a, go for it, Luca.
No worries, I'll take it from here. Thank you so much for the introduction. Hello, everybody. This is such a great event, and thank you, UNM Alumni Association and STEM Boomerang and everybody contributing to put this together. It's great for us to come here and try to find the next best employees, right? I am also a UNM alumni. My undergrad is from New Mexico Tech, but I'm currently an adjunct faculty at UNM, and I'm also serving on their entrepreneurship advisory board. But let me tell you more about Ideas Tech. So we are a small business, we're minority owned, and since we started in 2014, we have developed space computing and networking solutions for space applications, and we also acquired space heritage through the delivery of embedded system, firmware, hardware, and software components for space-based instruments. I know it's a mouthful, but we've been doing lots and lots of things. And I think it's quite impressive that in the past 3 years, so 3 years in a row, we're flying under 40 winners. We do have contracts and projects very, very exciting. And the very interesting part is like some of them are commercial and some of them are defense. So it's a good mix of you know, what you get to do in a day. We are currently transitioning to a more a different track. So we're moving a little bit from R&D more towards a repeatable business model with built to specification contracts for the design, implementation, and fabrication of computing and data acquisition systems for space. We do have two major programs that make the core of Ideas Tech efforts. We have the Ideas Tech Space Computing Program and also the Ideas Tech Space Communication Program. So plenty of opportunities, lots of things to do, different hats to wear if you're so inclined. Right now we are situated in Sandia Technology Park, which is you know, pretty close to the base. It's a really nice spot. It's close to Solero. You guys are our neighbors. I pass by you every single day. And to tell a little bit more, like right now we have a pretty diverse workforce, about 15 employees, lots of electrical engineers. We have PhDs, we have bachelors, but they're working towards their masters. We have student interns, we have MBAs, and we have armed force veterans. So a very nice, diverse group of people. What we're looking for is embedded system engineers. And we are looking obviously for senior embedded system engineers, but we were never afraid to take a chance on good students. And, you know, they can be anywhere from intern level, just finishing school. So we're pretty open to different levels of engineers that can come and help us out. We do not require clearance, however, and it's painful for me to say because from the accent, I'm not from here. Everybody's required to be a US citizen, not just having a green card. So that's the only thing that's a little bit different. I will be here in the afternoon, and we'll have some other people from Ideas Tech to answer questions and to talk about what we're doing more. Thank you.
Thank you, Luca. So next up we have, it looks like Tyler Marshall from Crossbow. Tyler has been working in HR and business development for almost a year. Crossbow Systems is an American small launch services and technology development company focused on the solid rocket motor and launch industries. So Tyler, are you still on?
Yeah, thank you so much. Can everyone hear me okay? Awesome. I actually have a few slides too, so I will share my screen if that's okay. Can everyone see that okay? All right, perfect. Thank you for the introduction. Like was said, my name is Tyler Marshall. I've been working in HR and business development for almost a year now here at Crossbow. And essentially what I do is I head a lot of the recruiting activities, whether that be managing the job postings or essentially coordinating a lot of the interview process and things of that sort. We are a startup. We were started in 2016, but we are rapidly growing. And so my work has definitely been busy as we have been staffing and hiring a lot in the last recent months. It's been really exciting, and there's a lot of fun and open positions that we have. And there's definitely a lot of exciting work to get involved in. So a little bit like about our company, like was said in the introduction, we are in the solid rocket motor industry. We have a lot of really innovative and exciting technologies and a lot of cool contracts and strategic opportunities that have been rolled out here in the last few months. So we kind of have a make, build, fly platform. We're applying 21st century additive manufacturing technology to produce solid rocket motors. And we are also building and fully customizing those solid rocket motors in-house as well. And then the fly aspect of it, we are also providing flight tests for these as well. So there's a lot of different opportunities to get involved in, a lot of different programs. So tons of different roles for everyone, for different positions and different types of engineers and all those, all that sort of thing. We also here, this is kind of all of our fronts on the New Mexico side of things. As we are headquartered in Albuquerque, we do a lot of our testing out here in White Sands, and we do a lot of our developing in New Mexico Tech. So a lot of cool things happening all across the state, a lot of different programs, a lot of different opportunities. And here's just a little kind of a breakdown of some of our current hiring needs. There's actually a lot more in this. Like I said, we're a startup and we're looking for a lot of exciting people on a ton of different fronts. But in terms of open positions specifically, we are looking for chemistry people, specifically chemical engineers, and automation and control engineers. Also lab technician, but that's more of a summer internship, not a full-time position. So a lot of exciting things. We're looking for a lot of people who are interested in robotics and additive manufacturing, chemistry, materials, anything along that sort. We're also looking for finance and business people as well. As we continue to grow, there's going to be tons of new positions too that are coming in the forefront. So that's kind of my little breakdown of everything. Thank you so much. I'll stop sharing my screen here. And I'll be sticking around later for the Q&A. Hopefully we'll have a few more of our engineers as well to answer a few if you guys have questions. So thank you so much.
And if I could break in at the end, after our space companies present, we'll have some time for Q&A, and then also at the breakout.
Awesome, right. Thank you, Tyler. Next, we'll move on to Joe Bullington from Jacobs Technology. He is the tech director for Jacobs, supporting NASA's White Sands test facilities, and he is also one of New Space New Mexico's industry forum leaders. So welcome, Joe.
Okay, good morning. I also have a few slides I'm going to share. Give me just a second to do that, please. Okay, can you see in the slides? Okay, good. All right, so I got 5 slides. I promise, Ariel, I'm gonna make this quick. So this is just a slide that kind of introduces me. Basically, it says I'm an engineer with many years of experience with both technical and management roles. And also I'm very involved in business and professional organizations, both nationally and in the state. I'm one of Casey's leaders in New Space New Mexico, leader in Ambassadors for Spaceport America and Las Cruces Space Festival and other things here in our region. Excuse me. So briefly about my company, Jacobs, we're a large company. We have about 52,000 employees all over the world. We're a US-based company, but we have offices in other countries as well. And we do a wide variety of engineering and technical kind of specialties. The part of the company I work for does primarily on-site support service contracting with NASA and DoD throughout the country. This just gives you an idea of the different kinds of things we got. And I'm going to focus primarily on what we do here, but I just want you to know that we have all kinds of engineering and technical jobs all over the country and the world. So here's a quick look at what we do at the NASA White Sands Test Facility where I work. The NASA White Sands, or WSTF, was put here back in the early 60s primarily to do rocket propulsion engine testing, and we still do a lot of that. But over the years, we've grown a number of other capabilities for things that support the space industry, including oxygen systems expertise in testing, and also in training people how to design and build oxygen systems. Same things with aerospace propellants. We have people who are experts in how to design and operate and maintain those systems safely. And we do training. We do lots of testing, lots of different kinds of testing. We have a hypervelocity impact facility, which is basically 3 very large guns that can fire particles from the size of a grain of sand up to about 1 inch, up to about 17,000 miles an hour, which simulates the impact of orbital debris on spacecraft. And so pretty much anybody flying that's going to fly anything in space, they need to be able to test to see how it's going to stand up and design proper shielding and so forth. And then we have composite pressure vessels. Those are a huge part of aerospace and space flight in particular. We've got a lot of expertise in testing and also in how to design with those systems. And then we've got a whole suite of standard tests that we do, hundreds of different kinds of tests we do for anything that's going to fly in space. And my last slide is just to give you an idea of what we need, what we hire. On the left side is professional kinds of things, people we hire. And I just wanted you to know we also do hire a lot of technicians and non-degree people for all kinds of things. We are kind of like a city to ourselves. We're just outside Las Cruces, right at the edge of Las Cruces, but we have to have our own water system, our own wastewater system. We maintain a lot of buildings and roads and everything else. So we got the whole gamut that you would have in a technical facility and in a typical city. And with that, I'll stop. I will stick around for questions and answers now, and also be back later when we do the Q&A later on. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. All right, and so our next 2 companies. So first we will have Jennifer Reed from Linquist. Unfortunately, she is sick in bed today, but we do have a slide that Casey can present for them.
Right, so Jennifer's on, but she's sort of laid up, and we'll let her kick in as she feels she can. But we're gonna go ahead and share some slides, and then hopefully even at the end of this session, when we have some question and answers, maybe she can be part of it. So what we have here is, let's go to this. So Linquist Corporation, let's see, I'm not going to be able to give the information on them, but I do want to go to the next slide. They're founded in 2004. They provide government customers with highly valued, state-of-the-art, cost-effective technical solutions. So they have quite a bit employees, 1,300 in 17 states, and you can see the different space systems that they've worked on through the years and sort of their growth as looks like in 2006 they had 200 employees and they're now at 1,300. So they're doing well and they are hiring, which is the good part for all of you. So what they say is, their culture is a fast, focused on diversity, inclusion, and respect. They are a place to grow. And I guess there's a Glassdoor rating. I haven't heard of that, but they have plenty of benefits and 401k plan and all that type of thing. I wanted to show you the list of job openings they have right now. So it's a lot, satellite operations, modeling and simulation. It looks like some entry level positions there. And so their link is there. And I want to let you all know that I believe Boomerang, New Mexico on the site where you registered will have links to these companies, but we also will have links, newspacenm.org, and we'll put it in the chat. In our Connection Gateway page, there's going to be information on the companies, and we'll post some of these slide decks that are shared for you, and we can help you make those connections between these companies. So Jennifer Reed is the one that we're hoping that she gets feeling better, and there's her email and phone number. And with that, I'll turn it. With that, I guess I'll turn it over to Ariel. I think we're looking for Gabe.
Yes, we're looking for Gabe Dominicello from Umbra Labs. Is he on?
I think he is not able to come on, but we again, we have some information for Umbra Labs that we'll be providing to you, and we'll put it again on that on our newspacenm.org. And you'll be able to get information from them. So I wanted to, let's see, go ahead, Ariel.
So we want to thank all of our space companies that presented today. We would like all of you to stay in touch with New Space New Mexico. Our website is, as Casey said, newspacenm.org. We work with many space organizations, and our New Space Alliance is growing more and more every day. We would love to help you find an opportunity with one of our organizations. And don't forget to join us for our breakout room.
So we have some time for questions.
I am going to, yeah.
Anyway.
Maggie, I'm gonna do questions now.
Great.
So, okay, so you heard from Barbara Braun with the Aerospace Corp. If our speakers can please put their video on so that we can allow for some question and answers. So we have Barbara Braun, again from Aerospace Corp, Raquel Herrera from Solero Technologies, Luca Esperusco from Ideas Tech, Tyler Marshall from Crossbow Launch Systems, Joe Bullington from Jacobs, and Jennifer Reed from Lindquist. So I'd like to open it up for Q&A, question and answer. Please, if you're not comfortable speaking up, then please be welcome to put your question in the chat. I'd like to start off with the questions, if any of you can answer. Are there internship opportunities with your space companies? If you can maybe take turns and speak on that, that would be great. And then we'll also take more questions.
I'll start. Joe Bullington at NASA White Sands Test Facility with Jacobs again. So we don't typically do internships, we do co-ops. It's a program that most universities have, and we work with New Mexico State University and UTEP and New Mexico Tech currently, and would like to work with other universities. But we have co-op positions that can be for like a summer, or can be for a full year, or other arrangements depending on what folks want to do.
All right, and Barbara.
Yeah, and this is This is Barbara Braun with the Aerospace Corporation. We have had a very active internship program over the last few years. We usually look for, about rising sophomores or rising juniors. This usually starts with a summer internship, but continues throughout the school year. And obviously there's less hours that are expected of you throughout the school year. We want you focusing on your studies, but we do have lots of people from all over New Mexico. We've had them from UNM and from New Mexico Tech and even from New Mexico State University. This last year was a little challenging for us due to the pandemic, but we are opening up the internship program again. Probably this summer, we will not have any new interns, but next summer, and so we will be all in contact with the schools and look for more positions to be opening up starting in the fall and the spring for the internship program, where the work will begin in the summer and then continue for as many years as you want to stay with us.
All right. Let's see, I'm pasting the different contacts. Let's see, Luca, are you all having any kind of internships? Or
we do. We always like to hire interns. So we do have already some electrical engineers, but we are looking for some computer science engineers or anybody in that realm. So of course, usually when you have a combination of dual majors, it's even better. But yes, absolutely.
Right, and I know Solero has internships, right, Raquel?
Yes, that's correct. So typically we have what we call our SOAR program, which we're not running the full program this summer. We do expect it to be back up summer 2022. But for 2021, we are still accepting individual internships, which we're placing in various departments. We actually have 3 interns set for right now, and we are open to bringing on about 6 or 7 more.
Oh, good. And I think we got everyone except Tyler is Crossbow.
So we are looking for a summer intern for mainly a lab technician role. However, if anyone with interest in for our automation and control position, if that's background more in computer science and electrical engineering, we'd definitely be interested in accepting resumes for that. So although the lab technician is the only specific summer internship job rec we have out there right now, we are interested in receiving resumes, and we could potentially find a spot for someone if someone is interested. So definitely we are interested in looking at summer internships, but right now we don't necessarily have a set program for it outside of the lab technician role.
Okay, and I would like to say for New Space New Mexico, we're hoping to launch this by 2022. We are looking to set up a space industry internship, where we help link the different space companies' intern programs, but also maybe even trying to build some funding up to actually fund some of those interns. So keep a watch for what we have coming on. Again, I put the Connection Gateway link in our website, and so watch for us there. And I think any of you, if you can get connection to these companies, again, through Boomerang New Mexico, boomerangnm.org, and then also New Space New Mexico, newspacenm.org. So we had a question: what do career opportunities for new grads look like? So that was internships, but if you all can address a couple things, like what about sort of this entry level positions? And I'd also like you all, post-COVID, are you taking a little bit of time to ramp up, or you feel like it hasn't even had you skip a beat? Or so if you could address, if you space company folks can address those couple things, like entry level positions, and where are you with this hopefully post-COVID environment. Thank you. Joe, you want to start again?
Okay. So we do hire people fresh out of college with a bachelor's degree. We hire some with master's degrees right out of college. Like everybody, we would like for you to have some experience in some way, even if it's working a project in school or something like that. And if you happen to have, 6 months or a year or more of work experience as a co-op or intern or something, that always helps. But we do hire a lot of people, and we try to get from the regional colleges first, as I mentioned earlier, like our interns. So as far as the COVID situation, we have continued to work because we work on a government contract and they've had the funding to continue. We've had to restrict people from coming on site to those that are working projects that were considered mission essential. However, so that means that about 40 to 50% of our folks were on site at any one time, but almost everybody else was working remotely, so that almost all of us were able to continue working during COVID. And since we could only work on site or actually test facilities on mission essential work, we've got a backlog of other things that are very important. They just weren't designated NASA mission essential. So we do work, in case I didn't mention this, for NASA, for Department of Defense, for a lot of the commercial space companies. We do testing and other work. So I expect we're going to be hiring more in the next 3 to 6 months than we've done in quite a while. Over.
All right.
Yeah, and I will point out, aerospace, we just hired 2 of our previous interns who have just graduated, and that's not a very uncommon thing for us at all. And in one case too, we had an intern that went out to our California office and went to graduate school there and worked as and had a fellowship through aerospace to go to graduate school and work part-time. And I know that there's another question in the chat about furthering your education. There are a whole host of educational assistance, tuition assistance, ranging from sponsorship of classes to even, a fairly sizable chunk of money to go and get your master's degree or your PhD.
Right. Well, I think I've always been a big promoter of internships, because that's a really good way for the intern to be able to test out the company and the kind of job that they're doing, and to be able to see where they're going. And then it's good for the company to see if they work well with that intern. But and then a lot of the companies, and at least space organizations, and this is how I ended up with my master's, is they'll hire you at a bachelor's level, and then they usually have programs to help you keep going and getting to your master's or PhD if you want that. So let's see, from Crossbow, Solero, other companies want to answer that?
Luca from Ideas Tech. So we also hired in the past lots of interns that became full-time engineers, and they just stayed with the company. And we were more than happy to support them going to finish their masters. And it's so much knowledge in this company that they became very successful students and amazing employees, obviously.
Right. Okay,
Okay,
so,
I'll jump
yeah,
in
so
too.
entry level and COVID is the question.
So here at Solero, for entry-level positions, we'll pretty much place you in a department that aligns with your education as well as your interest. Like I said, we do look at everyone on a one-on-one situation. Resumes get forwarded directly to department heads, and then we'll place you somewhere that fits. Internships, they're for any level of college students. I know a lot of companies tend to focus on at least a bachelor's, but we accept from freshmen all the way up to someone who's working on their PhD. And then we do follow a COVID protocol here on site, just as an FYI for everyone. So we do clean every day, social distancing practices, etc. We have a COVID hotline. So if you're interning and you feel sick, just inform us. We'll definitely take care of you.
I'm Samantha Whipple. I'm a manager here at Solero, and I wanted to add a little bit about hiring practice straight out of school. So we have typically in our manufacturing production area, we do hire new grads. So I believe there's 2 actually that are going to be starting after graduating this year. We've had several previous interns that had done internships, say their sophomore and junior years, and then have come back and applied. And once they graduated, we've hired not only in engineering, but also in program management, proposals, and different types of parts of the company. And then similarly, we have, depending on your new grad level, so if you're graduating from a master's or a PhD program, we have plenty of people who will come in as new graduates and start at the appropriate level at the company.
Right.
Yeah, I can jump in here. In terms of COVID, we've certainly just started revamping a lot of our programs and projects. So in terms of hiring, although obviously we are taking the precautions and COVID protocol, we are starting to definitely reamp and do a lot of the stuff we've been looking to do during the pandemic. So in terms of hiring fresh outs as well, most of our job openings right now are actually for fresh outs. That's one of the places we've been staffing a lot in the recent months. Like I've said, we've hired tons of new people recently, and most of them have been either fresh out or a few years out. So definitely looking for a lot of young people to come and join us, whether that be just getting your bachelor's or your master's. Like I said, specifically, generally looking for electrical engineers and computer science people for that automation and control job. However, there's room for tons of fresh outs over lots of different fronts as well.
Was there? Yeah, Joe?
So I've seen several questions coming up in the chat that I think I can answer. And I'm going to take a shot at answering kind of generally for all of us, because I've done a lot of talking to the folks in this state in the aerospace industry, but feel free to correct me or add your stuff after I do this. So they're asking about security clearances. So in the particular place where I work, there's probably about maybe 10 or 15% that require security clearance. The rest do not. I know that other companies and other agencies here in the state do require a lot of people to have security clearances. If you have been able to get one somehow because of working at a job or whatever, that's great. If you come in with that means you can quickly go to work, in our company or whatever. There are several programs just getting started, like at NMSU and other at other universities, to try to get work where the university will get a chunk of work, research, or some sort of support that they can use students on, and use that as a way to get them clearances by the time they graduate or soon after. So the other thing is, somebody answered this, but I'll make sure everybody knows, you can't just go get a security clearance on your own. You have to have an employer who is registered with the government and has its own security system set up to request it, and they normally pay for that. So if you don't have a security clearance, I would still apply to companies and see what it depends by the company as how much they can tolerate. Some companies have more developed ways of doing it, and talk to your university as well if they are starting to have some way for you to get it. The other thing,
can I add something to that, Joe, before you go on?
Yeah.
For what he was saying, if you can, sometimes, again, like we're saying, some of these internships, some of you are already graduating, but both COSMIAC and the Physical Sciences Lab, and I think New Mexico Tech also, COSMIAC at UNM, that is, Physical Sciences Lab at NMSU, and then I believe New Mexico Tech has a couple types of programs where they try and bring you in as an intern, and they start the work at getting your clearance, because the clearances take a year-ish or more sometimes. But so a lot of the companies that are working for doing government contracting, a lot of times do require the clearances, or and also have restrictions on hiring foreign nationals. But some of the companies are, have other things going on, so you don't always have to have the clearance, or you can be a foreign national. So keep going, Joe.
Yeah, I was going to address that next. So at our site, in order to be employed here, or even to come on site, you have to be a U.S. person, which means citizenship or a green card. Again, it depends on the company and the situation around our state. There are cases where you could be a foreign national and have a job in something related to the aerospace and technology business. But for most companies that are like myself that are doing direct government support, or if you're doing other things for the government, it may be that you have to be a U.S. citizen or at least a U.S. person. So I think the advice there is, if you plan to stay in the U.S. and all that, start your process of getting a green card, getting your citizenship as soon as you can. The farther you get down that road, the sooner, the better off you'll be in terms of finding a job here, right? But don't not apply for jobs, because there are some jobs in the state, particularly with universities and other things where you can be a foreign national and get work. I'm done. Thanks.
Any other companies want to add to any of these questions? I think we've gone from the entry-level jobs and your post-COVID situation to also talking about the possible clearances. And I agree with Joe. Don't not apply. I mean, a lot of these companies, if they know that they need to have a clearance or you need to be a U.S. citizen, they'll work with you one way or the other, or, you know, help you get to another place. So, and we are here to work with you too.
So Casey, how fast is the aerospace ecosystem growing in New Mexico?
Well, I think it's great. We are working and talking to numerous companies daily that are looking. I mean, we have some international companies that are trying to set up a U.S. office. We have a few handful of companies that we're talking to on helping them set up an office here or expand here. I think it's really growing, and I think New Mexico is a hot spot. And I think just with the many assets that we have in the state that I talked about at the beginning, is just a real attractor for companies to at least set up. I think they see like they need to be here to get in on the action. And so it is growing, and I think it's going to continue growing. And I think some of these companies like Aerospace Jacobs, I think, look at like Ideas Tech with Luca, the Crossbow. These are new companies that are up and coming and growing. So I think we have a lot of good stuff going on. Any of you companies folks want to kick in on that answer?
Yeah, I was going to speak to the government agencies that are setting up here in New Mexico, and I know that others here can probably speak better to the commercial companies that are moving in. But our congressional delegation here in New Mexico has worked very hard to make this, and the Air Force Research Laboratory itself and others have worked really hard to make this kind of a central place, especially for small satellites, innovation, rapid development of space missions and so forth, small launch, et cetera. So, we really kind of have a center of excellence at Kirtland Air Force Base with the Air Force Research Laboratory there, the DoD Space Test Program is there. And recently the ORS office was converted into the Space Rapid Capabilities Office. And that's a very high profile, very important agency. And I think that has really contributed to the growth in the New Mexico as a space-faring state, if you will. So I think it's an extremely important and growing industry right now. And like I said, that's been reflected in, I think, 20 years ago, there were maybe 40 people in the Aerospace Corporation in Albuquerque. And now I think we have over 120, and we have many open requisitions.
Right. Totally agree. I think, I think it's great. And like I said, all of you, I hope you'll stay in touch with us. New Space New Mexico is going to continue putting in programs in place to help job seekers, STEM professionals, even not STEM, connect to the space companies. We're going to be setting up some things on our website where the space companies can be able to post some of these job openings real time. So you can come back every now and then. Like I said, we're just getting that started. And so probably if you came back in about a couple of months, more and more is going to keep happening there. And then also just the resource of the Boomerang New Mexico will continue helping you all connect to these companies we work with Boomerang New Mexico. So we had another question. I think, Ariel, did you get that question about the remote?
Yeah, so there was a question asking about remote job possibilities. The question asked about procurement, but what is your policy with remote working?
Yeah, and I'll jump in just quickly. And, I think all of us have gone through a kind of a change in perspective over the last year about remote working. There are absolutely people in the company, and I've been one of them for quite some time now, that do have to be in person on base, especially in higher security clearance jobs. But the rest of the group, and I would say that a lot of the folks who support AFRL and the space test program in aerospace are working from home. And the company as a whole has expanded its remote locations, where I've even spoken to a lady who lives in Idaho, and she works for our company, even though we don't have an office there. So I think that's something that certain jobs can do very effectively. And I think that's definitely something that at least our company is looking at as a way to attract talent, frankly. The ability to be able to work remotely from wherever you happen to be living, I think is going to be an important thing to be able to offer your employees in the future. Not for every job, but for a lot of jobs.
Right. What do the other companies think?
I'll just say ditto to that.
So I have at Solera Technologies over the pandemic, we had to kind of limit to essential personnel on site. We are a manufacturing facility, so there people do have to be on site to work. I do manage a professional staff. Half of my team would work from home. When their programs and projects were in manufacturing, those people would be working on site because they were necessary to actually look at product. But whenever they have the opportunity, they've been able to do remote work. So we sort of have a hybrid. When you're necessary to be on site, you're on site. Otherwise, remote work, as long as you're getting your work done, it's worked very well for at least my department and some of the auxiliary departments to my group.
Crossbow's definitely got a bit of a hybrid as well. For most of the jobs we're hiring here in New Mexico, they are more development roles. And those, of course, have to be on site. However, more of the operations and kind of finance and business side of things are going to be remote. Obviously, we're trying to adjust to the crazy year we've just had. However, most of the jobs that we're hiring for the fresh outs that are more engineering heavy and development heavy are going to be on site. So thank you.
Did everyone comment that wanted to comment? Yeah, so Maggie, I think you had some comments you wanted to make.
Oh, I just wanted to say that for all the applicants and the people looking for positions that are interested, that our website has it's in beta. We've got it going, but it's in beta both for companies and the applicants. And that we had a little thing happen in the skills page. We're working on it, and we'll let you know when that happens. And the other thing is that we have some information on the Boomerang New Mexico site about resumes. And, I don't know what the HR managers think about all of this, but when I see resumes, oftentimes what I see is the longer that someone's in academia, the harder it is for them to put a resume together that is like wonderful for an HR manager. And so we help with that, but I'd love to hear some of the HR managers talk about the resumes that you really like to see.
That would be great.
Jump in here. I'm not an HR manager, but again, the technical recruiter, and all resumes come through me. I talk a lot with students about resumes. I also help create resumes as a sort of hobby outside of work. So the longer you're in academia, definitely want to put your education on there. What I like to say is, it's more important to tailor your resume to the company that you're applying for. Because if you've done so much in school, so you really want to highlight either specific classes that show the skill sets that you've learned, or specific projects, whether it was through a co-op or something similar at the top of your resume. That's basically taking the place of your work experience. So I don't need to see absolutely everything you've done in school. I know a lot of programs require, you know, English and maybe a second language. So unless you're going for a technical editor or writing position, that doesn't need to be included. Just make sure you can highlight something you've worked on during school that is specific or is close to what you can get for the position.
It's a good question. Anyone else?
I'll add one thing. These days, there is a lot of help for resumes, and I encourage anybody that's not confident about it, or maybe even if you are, to reach out and get some help. So any of the universities, there's, you know, the career services people can help with that. And there's a lot of good information online. You can go to places like LinkedIn and other, any of the, like Indeed and other websites. They have a lot of good tips about it. And I agree absolutely, whether you're a fresh out or 30 years of experience, it is really good to tailor your resume to the job you're going after, because even after lots of years experience, somebody like me, I've done so many different things that you know, that's too much for somebody to wade through. I really need to make it concise and to the point for what the job I'm trying to go after. So I think that's probably several of us giving that about. I think that's some of the best advice. Over.
Well, and I want to say, I know Maggie and Monica and myself through the years have mentored lots and lots and read lots and lots of resumes. But one thing I know, like when you're really trying to hit a bunch of different companies, that's kind of hard to, you know, tailor it to that one. So what I've advised some of my mentees through the years is you set up a resume maybe for one type of company, and then another, you know, like you have a resume for different types of companies you're going after, so that you don't have to do one for every single one. But and then I just want to say again, we're all here to help. If you you know, if you need help, I'm at Casey at newspacenm.org. I always look at resumes if anyone wants me to, so go for it there. Scott or anyone else want to make any comments on that?
Well, I just want to say one more thing is, so I do a lot of mentoring. That's been my real joy, other than running a big lab and doing research and working with scientists. But what I've noticed lately actually is to think about when you interview also. I know that some people feel that when they're interviewing, they need to present, you know, only what they do that the company seems to want. And I think it's really an unfortunate thing. I think that one thing you need to do is to really think about being true to who you are, because the interview is a way for you to figure out whether the company fits and whether you fit for the company. And the goal of all of what we're doing, especially STEM Boomerang, the Alumni Association, all the industrial organizations, is for everybody to be happy doing what they're doing. And so, you know, if you ever want to chat about this, you can go to info@stemboomerang.org, or, you know, but it's really important to find someone who can help you kind of get if you're just getting out in the, or trying to change jobs, or in some cases, we have people who've raised kids for 18 years, but were CAMEs and want to get back in the workforce, you know, so help you get your feet back on the ground and really go do something that is incredibly valuable and exciting. And I'll tell you, these companies, I cannot wait to be able to get out and just go down and see everybody. I'm desperate.
Right. Yes, and that's good advice. Make sure, especially early on, if you know you want to be happy, you're going to you spend a lot of time in your working hours. So you want to make sure it's something you really love. And if it's not, the earlier the better. You do a little adjustments, the better, right? And I don't know if we got to all the companies we all wanted to kick in. We'll kind of summarize and tell you about our breakout in a minute, but we have time for a couple more comments.
I would just agree with what was said earlier. Definitely, it helps when the resumes are, clear and concise with what you're looking to do and how you're looking to help. So yeah, I guess I would just ditto what was said earlier.
Yes, I have a question. My name is Chris Brantley with New Mexico Workforce Connections. And I notice a lot of the companies these days are using third parties to do the resumes. Are you guys still into that, or are you still the old fashioned, uploads and paper?
I'll go Joe Bullington with Jacobs. Again, we're a large aerospace and technology company, engineering company, do lots of different things, hire people all over the country. So it's a combination for us. First of all, every job application has to go through our website. We have a application process, and we have to do that because of all the reporting we have to do to the government on equal opportunity and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Most companies do that now because you got to channel it through one way. Otherwise, it just gets out of hand. You can't
Right.
Get data on all of it. So, but we use other websites like Indeed and other things to get the information out there. But we point everybody to our company website for that. And we still, we have when we get those resumes that come in and the applications, they all go through our HR department, and they figure out which job, if it's not obvious, which job that person's most suited for, and to get it to the hiring manager to review, and then we pare it down from there to the ones who we believe are qualified for the job, and then we start the process of figuring out who's the best fit for the job. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
But let me say that one thing we have to be very careful about, since all my work in terms of mentoring students has always been about diversifying sciences, but helping the whole rainbow coalition of people to really maximize their opportunities, that we have to be very careful about companies that are using AI and some kind of PDF scanners to evaluate
Yes.
people and put them in. And so really our goal, and Monica has taken a lead in this, is to really try our very best to avoid any kind of bias in who we give to companies in that respect. So be a little careful. There's a lot of discussion right now about different approaches for matching. And there are a couple of other approaches that might not be biased, but we have to be very careful, because human beings are just biased in the way that that we work. So anyway, that's the goal, is to really try to give the companies a fair shot at finding workers that will really help them build a great company.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Maggie, I'd like to second that and say, to my knowledge, I didn't think about the AI aspect, but I don't think we're using AI for any of that. It all goes to a human being. I will say I'm proud of the company I work for, because we have a very strong, multiple different programs to try to strongly encourage and promote diversity. And if you go to our company website, you'll see some. We've got organizations in the company for different groups of people that are typically, traditionally been marginalized, to try to give them a voice. And we do a lot of training for the managers about both hiring and managing people, and trying to do it without bias and all that. And we're not the only one. Lots of great companies are doing that now, and I'm happy about that too. And so I just wanted to second what you were saying. Thank you.
All right. Well, with that, I think we're finished up. I'm going to turn it back over to Ariel, and she'll talk about the breakout. And we will have a representative, I believe, from Umbra Labs at the breakout, and we'll introduce the rest. We'll hopefully have the folks from these space companies. So over to you, Ariel.
Well, we want to thank all the space companies for joining us again. In the chat, we have posted from 12:40 to 1 the link for our breakout session. And just don't forget to join us. We look forward to seeing everyone that joins.
Right. And then we put our connection gateway again. And I guess real quick, Gabe, we're done with our session, but I figure I'd just give you a quick introduction, and then Gabe Dominicello, if you'd like to just say hi, and then you will be at the breakout to talk to everyone, right?
Yes, my name is Gabe Dominicello. I'm the co-founder of Umbra, which is launching radar satellites, which can take pictures through clouds and like in at night. And it's a really amazing phenomenology and really interesting. So I'm excited about trying to recruit some great people.
Okay, so Ariel put I guess we put the breakouts, and it's also will be provided again probably by Monica later. So Monica, back to you.
Well, thank you, Casey. What a wonderful group of companies that represent New Mexico and are doing really great work. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and this will be in between the space section, and we'll start with the technology sectors coming up at 10:30. So you can stay on the call, maybe continue to put things into the chat if you'd like. There's a few things that came up if you just want to reference in the chat section. UNM Student Services is really great. Also, if Chris Brantley wants to talk more about Workforce Connections, if there's any job seekers out there who doesn't know what Workforce Connections does in the state and for you, I'd be happy to open that up to him as well. But feel free to take a 10-minute break. We won't start with the next companies until 10:30.
Okay, sounds good. I got it.
Excuse me, sir.
Hello, fellow alums. It's nice to see all of you. I'm Chad Cooper, president of your UNM Alumni Association Board of Directors, and I can't tell you how thrilled we are at the interest and participation in today's virtual career fair. We want to thank you for attending. We wish you success on your professional journeys, and as Lobos for Life, as you continue on your career paths, the Alumni Association will continue to support you with networking, career and community connections, and just overall pride in being Lobos. I hope you enjoyed the Space and Industries panel discussion. Next up is Tech Industries of New Mexico. The technology ecosystem in New Mexico is growing rapidly and is experiencing a large surge in workforce needs, spanning multiple fields, including cybersecurity, IT solutions, national defense, artificial intelligence, and big data, just to name a few. The New Mexico Tech Council is a member-driven association of businesses, organizations, and tech professionals working together to promote the growth and success of New Mexico's technology business sectors and spearheading technology growth in our state. The Technology Council will be leading our next segment. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Deborah Brightfield, Executive Director, and Mary Tiemann. Hi, Mary. Community.
Hey, Chuck.
Good to see you. Community Relations and Development Director. Again, it is great to see all of you. Best wishes today, and go Lobos. Mary, it's great to see you again.
Terrific. Thank you, Chad, so much. Again, my name is Deborah Brightfield, and I'm the Executive Director of the New Mexico Technology Council. We appreciate the introduction and the ability to participate here today. A couple of our other big events that we have peer groups, as Chad mentioned, cybersecurity, big data, women in technology. We have an event today celebrating Earth Day at 4:30. If you're interested, please feel free to go to our website. We're going to also be doing a toast and with Resource Brewing. And also we have our Women in Technology celebration, which will be June 10th at 11 a.m. So I'm also here, as Chad mentioned, with Mary Tiemann, our Community Affairs and Membership Director. And we're thrilled to have this terrific group of companies joining us today. That was a wonderful overview of the space industry and all of the exciting things that they're doing. And so now I'd like to introduce Tanya Chavez. She's the Executive Director of IT Planning and Management with Presbyterian Healthcare Services.
Good
So
morning.
Tanya, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Deborah. Good morning, everyone. Hi, my name is Tanya Chavez, and I'm going to share my screen. I just got a few slides to share with everybody. If you could guys give me a second, I would appreciate that. All right, can you see my screen okay, Deborah?
Not yet.
Apologize.
There we go.
All right, try that again.
Almost.
Sorry about that, guys. Moving between technologies, between GoToMeeting and Teams and everything else that we use in our infrastructure today, it's a little difficult to know what's going to work or not work. How's that?
Looks good.
All right, thank you guys. By the way, my name is Tanya Chavez. I'm the Executive Director for Presbyterian of IT Planning and Management. And I know when you think about tech, you probably don't think about Presbyterian, but we are truly have a foundation of technology within Presbyterian. And I want to just run through a few slides to get to you to know a little bit more about Presbyterian. I do want to say I am a native New Mexican, very passionate about bringing people back to our community. Chad, don't hold this against me. I'm not a Lobo. I'm an Aggie, but a long, passionate Lobo. You know, we used to go to the basketball games, football games, and back in the day when Cooper was here. So I am very passionate about bringing our alumni and our people back to New Mexico and working for us. So again, don't hold that against me that I am an Aggie. Little bit about Presbyterian, guys. If you don't know, we are an integrated system. We have hospitals throughout New Mexico. We have 9 hospitals throughout New Mexico, southern part of our state in Clovis. We have Espanola, we have Santa Fe, and of course here in Albuquerque. You know, there's a mainstay that everybody can, once they go up and down I-25, you see our big Presbyterian hospital that is pretty much that focal point on I-25. We are an integrated system. And what that means is we are integrated with payer and provider. Payer being the health plan, which we have our own insurance company. We have commercial members, Medicare and Medicaid, so our government programs, as well as our provider groups, that is our hospital, our PMG clinics. We have primary care throughout New Mexico and specialty clinics. We have about 100 different primary cares throughout the state. Then we have this new facility called PresNow. PresNow is a 24/7 emergency and urgent care facility. And it helps you at the point in time when you're having problems 24/7 and helps speed up your care when you need it, how you need it, in a really expeditious way. We have about 950 providers throughout our state with 50 specialties. And right now we're around about 12,000 employees within the state. So for a little bit of history about Presbyterian, we have a long history of legacy of caring. And being a native of New Mexico, and I really didn't know this until I started working for Pres. I've been with Pres for about 8 years. We've been in business since 1908. It started with a gentleman called Reverend Cooper, who came here to actually start a tuberculosis sanatorium. And actually it's grown from there. It's amazing how much we've grown throughout New Mexico and what we've done to accomplish that by working together. One of the things that's our big mainstay is we call it our Presbyterian egg, and it's really our foundation of what we look at as our culture at Presbyterian. You know, it reflects our purpose, our vision, our values, and our strategy. And throughout our buildings, and you know, whether you go to our administrative center at Cooper Center or the hospitals, you'll see our purpose all over the walls. You know, as a community-based organization, we have no shareholders. We are community owned by Presbyterian, and we're governed by a volunteer board of volunteers that are stewards of our community. Now my passion, IT. I've been in IT for over 25 years, and I got to tell you, this has been a wonderful journey being at Presbyterian, working and seeing in our community and how we've grown. One of the big passions, especially last year during COVID, you guys, the amount of work that we were able to do during COVID and getting our employees to work more diligently, setting up our vaccine clinics, setting up our hospitals to work diligently. And by the way, we all did it remote, working from home. It was pretty amazing. So I want to tell you a little bit more about IT. Even amidst the pandemic, we received 2 industry recognized healthcare awards. The first one was called, you'll see on the screen, is called Chime's Most Wired. And what we got recognized for, it's an annual survey. And what it exemplifies for us is that we use best practice to adopt and implement the use of our technology. So the work that we did during COVID and a bunch of other things for reporting and analytics with the state really resonated well. The second one was our stage 6 for HIMSS. And what that achieved for us is really showing how we can use paperless technology to be able to do our work. So big kudos for our team for being able to get that industry recognition in IT. We have approximately 400 IT resources in our organization. It's pretty big. I'm actually sitting here right now in the dark because my lights just went off because I'm sitting too still. Our floor is full of IT resources in a normal year. Of course, it's not a normal year. Right now, we support our healthcare delivery, our healthcare plan, our analytics organization, cybersecurity, and digital platforms. We do a lot to leverage our technology and digital transformation. As you know, a lot of what we had to do last year was implementing and extending our telehealth services to care for you at home. So any appointments that you got last year, most likely were done via your phone or on telehealth. So we're trying to provide better access and easier care by finding where that point of care is for us. We've done a lot around our remote services to implement digital workplace. And the biggest thing that we've had to keep a watchful eye on is our national healthcare cybersecurity directives. That's been a big focus for us in light of all the things that are going out in the industry. Just to recognize some of my colleagues that are UNM alumni. These are just few, and hopefully you'll recognize some of them. They're directors, managers, developers. These are just a few that I wanted to recognize. Keith Rivera has grown in our organization. He is our VP of Clinical Applications and a native New Mexican. And this is just a few. And we have a lot more UNM alumni that have either received their bachelor's or their master's or their associates at UNM. Very proud of our team, and this is just some of them I wanted to recognize. Typical positions in IT, if you would think, we have our foundation and our background is a lot in IT, guys. So we have a lot of different and diverse positions in IT. Epic configuration analyst, I just wanted to recognize that one just a little bit differently. That is our electronic medical record. It is our core system that we use to, in the hospitals and the clinics, to when you go and record your electronic medical record. But you'll see different types of positions that we're looking for, whether it's project managers, web developers, or folks in data analysts. So lastly, I would love for you guys to connect with us. I know this is a career fair and excited about bringing you back to New Mexico, whether you're remote and want to work here, we're doing that as well. I know that was a question that was asked a lot at the previous thing. We are looking for people. If you're living someplace else and still want to work for press, we're looking at that as well. This pandemic has changed our viewpoint. You don't have to be on site for everything. The two people down below are my IT recruiters, and please feel free to reach out to them, but we'd love for you to join a career in healthcare information technology. So please reach out to me. Look forward to meeting more of you guys. Thank you. Deborah, back to you.
Terrific. Thank you so much, Tanya. I'm going to now turn it over to Mary Tiemann.
Hey, good morning, everyone. TriCore Laboratories was established in 1998, and I found this information on their website. They love to hire University of New Mexico grads, and about 35% of their workforce attended UNM. So also noted on their website that they are one of the best companies to work for in Albuquerque. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you Melanie Wetley, and she is the corporate recruiter for TriCore. Melanie?
Thank you very much. My name is Melanie Welty, and I am the corporate recruiter, one of them, for TriCore Reference Laboratories and Rhodes Group. I am going to share my screen because I have some slides. Okay. So I'm happy to be here today and to talk with you about TriCore, which is New Mexico's largest medical laboratory, and Rhodes Group, which is a healthcare company, a wholly owned subsidiary of TriCore, and includes our information technology positions and our business office positions. So I can talk more about that. So first and foremost, TriCore and Rhodes are dedicated to improving the health of our communities, and patient care is at the core of our strategy. So right in the center of our vision, our mission, and our values is patient care. And our employees, the way they work every day, they really demonstrate patient care and our other values, compassion and integrity, accountability, respect, and excellence. All right, so I'll talk a little bit about who TriCore is. So TriCore performs over 11.7 million diagnostic tests per year. We perform 98.6% of testing at our headquarters here in Albuquerque. So the time to result a test is very fast because we do not have to send tests out to other states. And we conduct 2,900 highly specialized tests. TriCore employs approximately 1,250 workers. We're, again, New Mexico's largest medical laboratory. We have 70+ draw sites throughout New Mexico, and we're so proud that we utilize the latest technology and highest quality instrumentation for our testing. Now, Rhodes Group is a healthcare company that includes IT and business office, and their expertise brings together software, clinical lab, financial, and operational to help us succeed. So Rhodes Group was founded in 2000, and then Tricor acquired Rhodes Group in 2015. Rhodes Group employs approximately 140 workers. They really revolutionizes the role of Tricor in healthcare. Rhodes Group provides innovative solutions to enhance patient care and patient experience and helps optimize Tricor's core lab business. So they're really putting us on track to become the lab of tomorrow. So laboratory careers with Tricor, we have many positions open at the moment. So those could include clinical laboratory assistants, which are phlebotomists. They're who draw your blood. Laboratory assistants, laboratory technicians, clinical laboratory technologists, medical laboratory techs, medical laboratory scientists. Many of our medical laboratory scientists have graduated from the UNM MLS program. And then promotional opportunities within our organization include supervisory, manager, director, and there's many other departments to branch into quality and compliance and legal and things like that. So there's a variety of locations to consider for these technical positions within Tricor. We have labs throughout the state of New Mexico, so quite a variety to consider. So back in 2020, Tricor launched the CDC assay for COVID-19. It was launched on March 12th, 2020, and that's one day after the first positive COVID case in New Mexico. So from there, we just have increased our testing capacity for our community. And this is taken from the website, tricor.org, and you can see how Rhodes Group and provides these analytics for COVID-19. And you can also go out there and research what Tricor is doing in regards to COVID-19. So that's something that we're real proud of. So moving towards the Rhodes Group. So some careers with the Rhodes Group include network engineer, software engineer, systems administrator, desktop engineer, applications analyst, production support. This is just a handful of positions with the Rhodes Group. And speaking of the Rhodes Group business office, so moving towards that, we have medical claims specialists, medical billing specialists, follow-up specialists, payment posting specialists, imaging specialists, and client claims specialists. Those are the top positions in our business office. So something that Rhodes Group has created is an application of theirs is called Fusion. And Fusion provides advanced claim scrubbing features. So it helps to eliminate some holds on some claims until it is corrected. So there's 450 different scrubs that run against these claims before they go to payers to try to reduce the rejection rate. So if there's an edit on a claim, it's going to cause a denial and then it just causes a delay. So this application acts in a pre-claim and a claim and a post-claim capacity and scrubs over 3 billion in claims annually. So that's really exciting. Fusion eliminates errors before they spread. It helps to improve revenue. It scrubs these claims for inconsistencies, and it helps grow our patient population and revenue simultaneously. It also provides dashboard analytics to help identify the status of claims and analyzes the cause of rejection, and it maximizes our billing and claim activities. So some of the benefits for TriCore and Rhodes Group includes dental, vision, and medical insurance, 401k. We recognize 8 paid holidays per year. We do offer shift differential and premium pay for certain shifts. Extended illness benefit is our short-term disability plan. We do provide tuition reimbursement and degree incentives. We offer internal classes that support continuing education. We have a wellness program, and then we have a perks program, so discounts to what you see below: food and travel and shopping. So to apply for a position at TriCore, you will go to tricore.org careers. So you'll see this is a little piece of the page, and you can click on begin your job search. And then you can search for employment opportunities. You can search by all of our jobs. You can search by the keyword. So this little arrow is pointing to clinical laboratory technologist, and it should bring up all of the job titles with that word in it. So there's a number of ways you can search. Now, Rhodes Group has a site as well. It's rhodesgroup.com careers, and you could go to their careers page. This little arrow at the bottom next to see our current openings, you'll just scroll down and the Rhodes Group openings will appear. So I included my information on this slide, and of course the other, my colleague, Rocky Cruz, who is the other corporate recruiter with TriCore. So you're welcome to jot down this information, email or call or text. I'm totally open to any type of communication. If you have questions about positions or questions about TriCore or Rhodes Group, for more information to learn more about these companies, this is the website, tricore.org and rhodesgroup.com. So thank you.
Terrific, Melanie. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. We are thrilled to have TriCore and the Rhodes Group as a member of the New Mexico Technology Council, and James Brown is on our board of directors. When we had a conversation recently with him, it was interesting. And as he was talking about with the Rhodes Group, that, you know, the kind of the hiring is just continual, and that more and more you are being open to bringing in those who have completed some of the CNM deep dive coding boot camps. And I guess those would probably be like through internships and that kind of thing.
That's correct. We are, we're exploring all these opportunities for CNM and UNM students to come into the Rhodes Group. They continue to grow, and I think this year, and we're just going to see a lot more growth with them. It's very exciting for us.
Terrific. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Charles Lopez, the Engineering and Analyst Division Chief, and Liza Ojeda, who's the HR management expert with the Air Force Operations Testing Center.
Hello, yes, my name is Charles Lopez, and I am a UNM grad. I went to a master's program at UNM and undergrad at NMSU, so I apologize to this forum for that. And Miss Ojeda, she's here with me, and she also is a UNM grad. We both finished our degrees in 2007 and have been working with the Air Force for quite many years. And I want to start a slideshow, so let me share my screen. And do you guys see the slides?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So AFOTEC, Air Force Operational Test and Evaluation Center, is a government organization that works for the Air Force. And AFOTEC is a direct reporting unit. So off to the right, you see the various major commands or MAJCOMs that we inform and we help to provide service to. And Afotech works directly for the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, as depicted in this chart here. We also work with the other operational test agencies, the Navy, Army, Marines, as well as Space Force. And we'll show that a little bit more. Afotech is the independent operational test agency for the Air Force. We answer the so what question for the weapon systems before they get fielded. And we provide operation or combat capability to the Air Force and the other major commands on a multi-service systems. We provide the warfighter support to the MAJCOMs, and we provide acquisition support to the organizations that are bringing these systems to fruition, the program offices and various other organizations. There are two major types of tests. One is called development test, and it looks to see if the system is built the way the contract said it should be built. Then there's the operational test that sees if the system was the correct system was built for the environment that it's destined for. And us at Afotech do the operational test. So we put these weapon systems into the most realistic environment to try to see if the right system is being delivered. Through all of the adaptive, relevant approach, Afotech discovers our problems early by trying to, we also try to reduce costs by testing earlier, testing faster, and testing smarter, and that combines into delivering the combat capabilities. Through this process, we are answering the National Defense Strategy, and I won't read this here, I'll let you guys read this at another time, but by answering the National Defense Strategy, we're also working with the entire community of supporters for the warfighter. We have the warfighter, the contractors, operational test, development test, and acquisition. And together we deliver combat capabilities. There's 6 core principles that we employ to meet the National Defense Strategy. And I'll just cover them real quickly here due to the time constraint that we have, but we try to test early and often, and we're constantly tailoring to the situation. That includes the type of people that we employ and the type of environments that we put these weapon systems into. Through this testing, we are continuously and constantly communicating to the decision makers, whether it's Congress, the warfighter, the DOT&E, or the Air Force Chief of Staff. We're communicating constantly. We have learned to adapt and streamline our process and products and still remain technically relevant and keep the technical adequacy at a high standard, and integrate with the other test agencies as well as the development and contractor. And of course, just maintaining that adaptive nature keeps us delivering combat capabilities. Afotech is led by a 2-star general or Major General Sayers. He is the Afotech commander and headquartered, Afotech is headquartered here in Albuquerque, here Kirtland Air Force Base. You can see the broad reach that we have across the United States. These are direct Afotech locations. We have a lot more influence in this when it comes to ancillary events and locations and other stuff that we communicate with. And we'll get further into this, but you can see the broad reach that Afotech has. And by working for Afotech, there's opportunities to live and support any one of these locations directly. So we have Detachment 2 here that is based out of Eglin Air Force Base, and they have this organization focuses on the command control aspects, weapons systems, and other munitions, and they do a lot of computer-based systems also. One of the really high-profile systems they're working on right now is a laser joint direct attack munition. They also partner with AFRL. The Eglin Det 2 partners with AFRL. They do a lot of systems testing here at Kirtland too. We have Detachment 3 that is out at Hill Air Force Base, and Detachment 3 focuses on the Global Base Strategic Deterrent, or GBSD, which is replacing the age-old Minuteman Intercontinental Ballistic Missile, ICBM system. They do a lot of other ancillary stuff that are related to that, like the fuse modernization and various other strategic deterrent operations, such as like the Mark 21A re-entry vehicle for the high-speed munition systems. We have Detachment 4, and Detachment 4 has always been our space detachment. And with the advent of the Space Force, Detachment 4 is directly supporting Space Force and helping the transition from an Air Force operations over to the Space Force operations. So Alphatech is really has their hands working, getting their hands dirty, working with that transition and helping to ensure the success of the Space Force. And this includes all space activity, whether it's the new global positioning systems, the space-based infrared systems, all the communication and other and many other classified programs. Detachment 5 is located out at Edwards Air Force Base, or near Los Angeles, in the big wide desert, one of the largest military-owned test facilities, much larger than White Sands even. Det 5 does all of the aircraft, anything that flies, whether it's a bomber, a mobility like the presidential aircraft, any flying command control ISR, information surveillance reconnaissance, training, special ops, and anything that flies that is not a fighter aircraft. And I'll show you who does a fighter aircraft in a sec. They have many operational locations, some up at Washington. We have some at Missouri, Texas, and Florida. And then Detachment 6 is located out at Nellis Air Force Base, or Las Vegas, Nevada. And they also have operating locations there at Edwards Air Force Base. This detachment works on the F-35, the F-22, and the F-15. So they focus primarily on fighter aircraft. In addition to the operational test support that we provide and execute, we also focus on cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a fast-growing front of information and capabilities, and Alphatech has been leading the charge in everything cybersecurity and everything cybersecurity in the government. We have been doing the operational test and really leading the development test, trying to educate and share that responsibility amongst all the key stakeholders. And we have quite a few subject matter experts in this topic. So, being that this is a STEM career fair, I want to show that through the way that we test is a process called design of experiments. This process is used a lot in laboratory environments, but we have learned to adapt it to operational tests, especially when you don't have quantified data to work with, where you have to create a trade space of information to see if this system is going to meet the need of the warfighter. And in this picture here, you'll see that we'll take factors and take the whole entire operational environment trade space and this is just one example where you have bank angle, the type of aircraft, and altitude that you're evaluating. And instead of executing in every aspect of each one of those, we identify the most likely and the highest impact, and just go for those particular values or factors and levels of the test. And this helps us to reduce costs and keep at an 80% confidence level that the system is the right system. And it also helps to identify and resolve problems with the system itself. Affotech uses two different methods of bringing interns or students into the organization. The first one we have is called a Pathways internship. And this is, it says here that it's applicable to electrical, mechanical, and aerospace engineers. But I do want to say that we do have pathway internship positions that open up for things other than engineering. And so this is one way to bring a multitude of talent into our organization. The second type is called a Palace Acquire, and this program really does focus on the engineering side of the house. It's a very, very lucrative and brings a lot of value to not only us, but the individuals that are selected for this. Miss Ojeda has, she's an expert in all things HR and management, and can answer any questions you may have based on these types, as well as any other type of positions that we have available or that open up in the future. So Affotech, we answer the so what questions for acquisition programs. We are very small, a direct reporting unit. Our organization has as much influence as a MAGCOM, and so we have a very large impact. And we are constantly looking to the future to field tomorrow's weapon systems, and we field it faster. Now, I'll pause here and just talk a little bit about the organization itself. We are a primarily military organization, but we employ a large force of civilian civil service like myself, as well as work with the contracting organization. So we have contracts with various industry, and you've seen a couple of them here that it's those contractors that we will bring on board. So even if you're not working directly in Affotech as a civilian or as a direct student, there's a lot of opportunities for you to come in as one of those contractors. And that's, I'll open it up for questions, or wait till the end for those questions.
Charles, will you be joining us for the breakout session as well in case someone has questions?
Yes, I will, and Miss Ojeda will be here too.
Oh, good. Can you post the email for Miss Ojeda? Because I know, you know, usajobs.gov is a daunting place to look for things. And lots of times I think people apply to, you know, these, to Affotech and Sandia and Los Alamos and stuff and never hear back. So it's very good for them to have some kind of personal contact that can help them understand how your system works in terms of applying and, you know, what information you need. So thank you so much. Very exciting.
And these slides, if I provided them to you guys over at the Boomerang, and if you want to distribute them freely, please feel free. Miss Ojeda's phone number is on the bottom of slide 15.
Charles, it does look like you have a question in the chat. Can cybersecurity positions be performed on multiple bases, or are they limited to only one certain base?
That question is a very good one, and it's one that really depends, because we influence and perform cybersecurity across the United States, across the world, really too. And we're looking to enhance our methods of being able to execute these things, not only at the locations that they're being being influencing, but also from various other locations. Now, we are limited to places that have Air Force bases. And currently, if you're working on a test team or here at headquarters, you will hit kind of a battle rhythm where you go to the same places or similar places, Air Force bases specifically, regularly. So really trying to influence across the board, but there is a battle rhythm.
Perfect.
Charles, I have just one little question, if that's okay. So I
Absolutely.
don't think you mentioned statisticians, but when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking statistics, statistics, statistics. I mean, you must have quite a few statisticians on board with all this testing.
Absolutely, and that's the division. The division that I lead here has both engineers and analysts, and the analyst background is a heavy math, statistics, operational research background, and so we do both, and we cross-train the engineers to understand the analysis and analysts to understand the engineering. So absolutely, yes.
Great. Well, I thank you so much, Charles. And you'll be available in the breakout room for anyone else who has questions.
Yes.
So thank you. So RS21 is a force for good. They believe the power of data can unleash human potential and make a better world. And RS21 is growing like crazy. It is my pleasure to introduce Grace Lerner. She's the HR manager, and she also has joining her today, Josh Rivera. So Grace, go ahead.
Hi, thank you. I am going to hand it right over to Josh Rivera, and he's our Director of Software Development here at RS21, and he is going to kick us off.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. Let me share my screen real quick. While I do that, I just wanted to give a shout out to Afotech. It's funny following them, but I actually got my career started as a contractor with Afotech for 8 years, so it definitely kind of shaped kind of how I view things, and kind of has brought me to sort of the point that I'm in my career right now. So just kind of wanted to, you know, kind of interesting following up with them. And I definitely think everybody should explore some opportunities with them because it was wonderful for me. Cool. You guys see my screen at this point?
Yep.
Cool. All right. So RS21, we are a data science company headquartered here in Albuquerque, but located around the country, as most places are after the last year. We use artificial intelligence, design, data engineering, and modern software development methods, and to build software that we believe help enable data-driven decisions that positively impact the world, kind of along the lines of the intro that we got. We were for 2 years running recognized as one of the fastest growing companies in New Mexico. I don't know if we can keep this percent growth going, but I'm sure our C-suite would love to see that continue down the path. So it's been really great to get some of those accolades based on some of the work that we've done and some of the new work that we've continued to bring in. We are located here in downtown Albuquerque. We are in this wonderful building at 3rd and Gold. On the top floor, we have probably one of the coolest office spaces in the city that I miss dearly. It's funny working here because when I was at UNM, I would line up underneath the building on Thursday nights because Bert's had college night on Thursday nights, and we would go get 75-cent PBRs and stuff. So it was really, it was kind of a blast from the past and funny for me to end up working on this building. So just since this is a UNM career fair, I thought that was a pretty funny little story. We are a values-based organization. We have created these values. These were created by RS21 staff at large. This was not things that were like dictated from like leadership and now we all have to follow. These are the things that the staff brought to the table as things that we want to embody in our work. So this is how we evaluate the quality of our work and also the work that we should be doing. What contract should we take on? What contract should we say no to? All of that kind of stuff. So you guys want to talk some more about this later, I would be happy to, but I'll just kind of leave it at that for the moment. Those values have meant that we have attracted a wonderful group of people, probably the best group of people that I have ever worked with in my career, including in the center, Hippo, our chief dog officer, who everybody loves, and I can't wait to see again. So I'm going to go through kind of a breakdown of our internal structure, kind of give everybody some idea of the teams that we have and kind of the work that we do from there. So first up, we have a functional division called data science. Data science does custom scalable data science solutions intended to unlock new intelligence, reveal patterns, and deliver actionable insights. We also work with clients' in-house analytics teams to provide valuable knowledge and expertise and help them optimize their analytical techniques for production and deployment. Data science is some of the most brilliant people that I've ever met, a bunch of PhDs and stuff like that. It's very, very cool to anytime I get the opportunity to work with them. We do have a new group that just spun out on January 1st called Data Engineering and Business Intelligence. So they're implementing large-scale enterprise-wide data analytics platforms. The intent is to empower end users and executives to be able to have self-service critical insights. They have expertise in data architecture, warehousing, modeling, governance, and the end result of their work is that they create secure, robust, and high-performance solutions. Our design team, they specialize in user experience and user interface. Those are two things that get conflated a lot, but when you get to talking to them, you realize that they're very different things. So user experience is kind of how you navigate things, how things are structured, and design is kind of have the look and the feel of how things come together. They've developed a user-centric methodology that integrates strategic and scientific approach, and they do collaborative and creative thinking. I love working with them. I'm very jealous. I know how to mess with Photoshop, but that's about it. The work that they do is incredible, and it's cool how fast that they put it out, and then my team gets to work with it from there. And the last functional division is software development, which is the division that I lead. So we build full stack applications. So what I would say is that we work with the previous three teams, data science, data engineering, and design. So we're taking their machine learning models, we're taking whatever data warehouses and databases that they've created, we're taking the beautiful designs that they've created, and we're putting all three of those pieces together. We're using agile development methodologies to deliver secure, performant, tested, and deployed web applications. So sometimes that means that's on our infrastructure, sometimes it means it's on clients' infrastructure, but the end result is that all of the teams work, the four different divisions coming together, and we're delivering software projects that people hopefully want to use. And sort of the behind the scenes is the leadership, project management, marketing, operations. These are the people who keep the lights on, the bills paid, they make sure the clients are happy, that we have requirements, that we know what we're actually doing. So very important sort of role that they don't get probably enough credit for all of the cool things that we do, because everybody's asking about, you know, how do we code something new and stuff like that. We've managed to build this team. I wanted to keep this, this slide's important to us, particularly in this like boomerang context. We have brought people in from all of the states highlighted here to come work at RS21 in Albuquerque. So this is not remote. This is people who have actually moved back to Albuquerque to work here, you know, in the boomerang context, people who were New Mexicans who wanted to come back, or people who weren't New Mexicans who just wanted to move to Albuquerque because they loved what Albuquerque had to offer and what RS21 had to offer. So this is actual success of RS21, bringing people in and helping reverse the brain drain to a certain extent. This map gets even crazier when you start to think about like the last year and all of the stuff that we've been doing with remote, and how we now have people out on the East Coast, up in Wisconsin, different places like that who are also working with us. So we've been pretty successful in terms of you know, helping to bring people back. And we do this through partnerships with lots of different organizations locally as well. We hire deep dive coding grads, cultivating coder grads, UNM grads, New Mexico Tech grads, and also Aggies. Unfortunately, I'm a Lobo. I know you guys are mostly Lobos, so they don't get a lot of play into the logo size on this sort of thing. But we talk to them too. They just have to go through a few more hoops. And we think that this is all possible because we believe New Mexico lives at the intersection of technology and art. I really love this slide, but we think that we are in just kind of a really cool sort of you know, I think New Mexico's in a really underrated sort of position where you've got lots of technology companies, you've got various laboratories, all that kind of stuff. So you got a very cool technology scene. You guys are all aware of the art scene, Meow Wolf, Electric Playhouse, all of the different stuff that's going around town. We think that the technology and art really meets here in New Mexico, and it's really sort of been sort of a driver into a lot of our success as well, because we can build applications that are secure and performant and give people insights that they want, but we also make them beautiful and things that people want to use that are easy to use, all of those sorts of things. And so we really try and bring those two things together. We work in the following, I won't list them out, but we work in all of these different verticals. So we've done work with national security, sustainability, space. I really want to point out space. If you guys were around earlier today, you may have heard from the New Space New Mexico. We got connected with them because we recently won the Hyperspace Challenge here in New Mexico. And I really want to point this out because it's really cool is we actually won the Hyperspace Challenge because of our work across these verticals. What we did on that challenge was we actually took the work that we did in healthcare, working and the things that we learned about in working with cancer studies, and we applied that work to space. So we took the analytical methods that we were working on in the healthcare model, and we applied those to the degradation of satellites in space and how their flight paths might change based on just being out there for certain times and how those might get affected. So it's a really cool project, and there's some videos out online related to our Hyperspace Challenge that I definitely recommend checking out. I'll drop some links as well. The breadth of those verticals has meant that we've worked with a variety of different companies here. We've worked with all of them. We're actively working with on projects with the UNM Comprehensive Cancer Center, Sandia National Labs, of course. My team's working on projects for the Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office as we speak. We've talked with, we have ongoing conversations with probably most, if not all of the companies that you probably hear from today to a certain degree. It's a really cool opportunity that we get to, when working with RS21, you actually get to work with all of these companies and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really great opportunity. You get to spend, 4 months here, 4 months there. And it's a good way to, I promise you, working at RS21 is a good way to never get bored. I was not able to get a easy to use link to our demo reel. But I will drop it in the chat when I'm done. But there is a cool demo reel of all of our different projects, so you guys can go there and check it out. And there's some other really cool videos just about RS21 as a whole.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about the careers we have available, what it's like to work with at RS21, et cetera. So we are, like Josh mentioned, we are really fast growing. We've been listed as the fastest growing company, and that is not anticipated to slow down anytime soon. So if you'd like to see the positions we have, they're all up to date on our website at rs21.io. So I recommend you go check them out. We do have currently several project management roles available. We look for people in those roles who have experience project managing software development projects. And, right now we're really expanding that team. And so we have some roles working with a lot of our different verticals. I think a really exciting one is our state and local government work. Josh had mentioned the Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office, that project manager is going to be heavily involved with that stuff. So it's really cool. You really are making an impact here in New Mexico with those projects. We really like to hire Lobos. Josh and I are both Lobos. We both are alum and like huge Lobo fans. So yeah, definitely excited to be here and talking with you all today. I think one of the things that brought me to RS21 and made me excited as an HR professional is that the company is really dedicated to creating really good jobs here in New Mexico for people and growing the economy here in that way. And so that definitely is still the case, even with COVID and even with the changing work environment. We do have employees located all over the country. We are open to people pretty much in any part of the country, remotely or here, in town in Albuquerque at our headquarters. I know a lot of people have touched on the pandemic, and so I thought I'd share a little bit about that. We are in that great office space that Josh showed a photo of. We are slowly returning, but we are committed to providing a safe environment for our staff. And we are open to flexible work environments, remote work, hybrid, et cetera. So we really want people to be able to do their best work in whatever way that means for them. And then finally, we do offer internships. We have a lot of people on staff who started with us as interns. We're currently looking at data science internships, recently filled UX internships. And Josh has a lot of interns go through his team. They often stay on with us for a long time, and people love working with Josh, so they never leave. And so currently his team is really full, but I anticipate we'll continue to grow that team and be looking for people to come in and work with Josh as well. So I think that's it for us.
Terrific, Grace and Josh. Wonderful. Always great to hear so much more about RS21, one of our leading tech companies within New Mexico. And it's great to hear the collaborations that you have as well. And so hopefully you'll be able to join us again at our breakout session at 12:40. So folks can ask questions. Now I'd like to introduce from Sandia National Laboratories, one of our premier national laboratories in the country here in Albuquerque, Kenneth Armijo, scientist and R&D energy engineer.
Hi, I'm Kenny Armijo. I'm also on the UNM Board of Directors, was a previous UNM alumni. I even played in the Sound Pack basketball band a number of years ago. So I am definitely have a blood type of cherry Lobo Red UNM spirit. So I am going to talk a little bit about some of the opportunities and careers are available that are at Sandia National Laboratories. I'm going to share my screen. All right, let's see here. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. All right, so just to jump into it, I am a staff, as was mentioned, I'm a staff scientist and R&D engineer, systems engineer at the Sandia National Laboratories National Solar Thermal Test Facility. This is basically a one-of-a-kind facility at the labs where we do a lot of research and development in high temperature solar energy research. This is just one of the many labs, and I'll talk about the others in just a bit, where we do all the various types of solar PV panels, wind energy, geothermal, tidal energy, and we do that here at Sandia. We are the largest national labs in the country, and we are one of the most premier labs along with NREL, the National Renewable Energy Lab, that does renewable energy and climate change research and development. We work with pretty much every company in the US and varieties all over the world. I right now work with, I think right now I'm up to 14 different countries with different companies, government agencies, including DOE equivalents in other countries such as Australia, where we work together and collaborate on very big, high risk, high reward type research and renewable energy, again, for solutions to climate change challenges. We also deal with a lot of aerospace applications, since we can use the high flux here, as well as some of our other capabilities at the labs for simulating arc jet type tests for re-entry vehicles, hypersonics, and a lot of other very state-of-the-art aerospace type applications. So there's a lot of really interesting work that we do here. We even also work with small businesses as we can translate and do disruptive technologies for the development of startup companies. Sandia National Labs, along with, well, I guess in general, there are a number of national labs across the country. Sandia primarily has 2 main facilities, in addition to about 5 others, here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and at Livermore, California. We do collaborate with all the other national labs. I have colleagues at Oak Ridge, Argonne, and even do some research collaborations with Hawaii. So what's nice about the research work that we do, when you're dealing with state-of-the-art type research and capabilities, you get to work with others in other parts of the US and the world to also garner their capabilities and do really exciting research. And I would say research that really has a purpose and that has an impact. And so I show those 2. Sandia's total funding is over $3 billion. So we have a lot of funding capability to do a lot of different things. We work primarily with NNSA, the National Nuclear Security Administration. We do have a lot of strategic partnership projects. This means that industry pays us to work with them. I right now have 7 of these strategic partnership projects where I help develop intellectual property, i.e. patents and copyrights, and also develop new types of technologies that helped different companies attain high-level technology readiness level and commercial readiness level to go to market and do really impactful type work, especially in the renewable space, aerospace, and even in some of the other medical space. We actually have seen some transition, similar to like how NASA translates things across different technology spectrums. And then, of course, we have the non-NNSA DOE funds. This DOE funds is which includes a lot of the renewables work that we do at the labs. So in general, our main national security missions are global security, nuclear deterrence, national security programs, energy and homeland security. So this deals a lot with the renewable energy research, climate research that is really getting bigger and stronger. We also do a lot of biotype research. We have the Joint Bio Research Institute in Livermore, where we do a lot of biofuels and other biomedical research type applications, and advanced science and technology, really pushing the limits of research and development and doing a lot of exciting work here at the labs. Workforce and culture, we have primarily 36% of our staff is research and development groups. So we hire bachelor's, master's, PhDs. We tend to, we also have a lot of R&D technologists. One of the things that I promote as a recruiter, so I'm a systems engineer, scientist, but I'm also a recruiter for Sandia National Lab. So later you can ask more questions about it. But we also hire a lot of tradespeople, welders, plumbers, electricians, and all the rest, because we need a full set of the STEM ecosystem in order to be successful. We also have other management and business. So we do hire a lot of MBAs, as well as in addition to legal groups, we hire paralegals, attorneys, and so on. In the engineering, in the STEM disciplines, we're very heavily focused on engineering. We do have a lot of the sciences represented. Masters and PhD make up the bulk of the research we do, because if you're going to be high-end state-of-the-art, you have to be fundamental in your research. So that's where masters and PhDs come into play. Again, business operations, information technology is a big area, and then project management. So a lot of our STEM degree holders also include MBA holders as well. Employment opportunities real quick. We have a lot of internships. We do summer internships primarily, but we do a lot of year-round internships. And some of the work that I also promote in terms of program development is also being able to tie internships to your actual master's thesis and PhD dissertation. This is effectively hitting two birds with one stone. And we have a ton of opportunities where you can transition from intern to staff once you get here. And along the way, you get your security clearance, which is very much important to all the work that we do, because we do deal with national security type work. We do a lot of outreach. We have a lot of fun at Sandia. I mean, the good thing of being one of the largest, if not the, well, actually the largest national lab now, is the fact that we have a lot of opportunities for community impact and broader impacts, even just beyond the fundamental research that we do. And we also give a lot of tours, such as at the National Solar Thermal Test Facility. We have a lot of different institutional programs that we do a lot of work with graduate students and interns. So if you are in school still, there's a lot of opportunities for you to make your way into Sandia and into the national labs in general. What's great about the national labs is that we straddle both industry and government and academia all at the same time. We do fundamental research like academia. We do a lot of industry support to help them garner seed funds and continue commercialization of different types of technologies. And we deal with governmental matters and also current matters that you even see on the news. We also, just like medical doctors, when they finish their MD, they have to go get a residency. Well, when you finish a PhD, you go and get a postdoc. I actually I did my postdoc here at Sandia. And you're able to transition, learn how to write proposals. And then when you're done at Sandia, you can actually transition to very exciting job opportunities, whether you become professors or you get to work for the Googles and SpaceXs of the world. There's also fellowship opportunities. These are particular to Sandia. We also help support veterans. And if you like, please apply online at sandia.gov/careers. So that's I guess that's the presentation I have right now.
Terrific. Well, thank you so much, Kenny. And it's always wonderful to get updates on Sandia and hear about the great program of work that you're doing here. And we don't want to, and so thank you everybody, all of our employers, just fascinating, great opportunities here in New Mexico. And so we don't want to infringe on the biotech session. And so now I will turn it back to Monica. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Deborah. That was a wonderful presentation, and I love to see all the Lobos represented here. I myself am also a Lobo, so great. So we're going to take a short break, and then we'll come back at 5 minutes, 11:40, and we'll do the last segment, which is the biotech segment. Then after that is the breakout sessions, and so you'll be able to talk more with these companies one-on-one during that breakout session. So save your questions for that, and we'll see you in 5 minutes. Thank you.
The New Mexico Biomedical Association is a catalyst for the growth of the state's bioscience industry. From Las Cruces to Los Alamos, the association is striving to develop a thriving biotechnology sector that can harness the state's workers, research, and intellectual property. Basically, we connect innovators to funding, infrastructure, research, and talent. From promising young companies to established corporations and institutions, we provide opportunities for networking, educational, and professional development.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. Greg, I'm going to introduce you, I think. But let's see, I don't understand why you're, anyway, I don't know if people can see me or hear. You can hear me though, right? Everybody can hear me, or Monica, can you hear me? Good.
We can
All
see
right.
you, we can hear you. Let's get the next section going. Thanks.
Good. Okay, so I want to introduce Greg Burns, and I have known Greg since I started STEM Boomerang, because he got here in about 2017 and started running UNM Bio. And I will tell you that Greg is one of the most impressive people I've ever seen for being able to land in New Mexico, really embrace the whole thing, engage people that, you know, hadn't been talking together. And so I'm very, very proud of having seen what Greg has done for UNM Bio. And so Greg, why don't you take it away?
Okay, no, I appreciate that introduction and won't add anything to it. Thank you very much. I will tell the group that I became executive director of UNM Bio about 5 years ago. I've served as the vice chair of the New Mexico Bioscience Authority since its inception, and have also served on the advisory board of the Santa Fe Business Incubator. The New Mexico Biotechnology and Biomedical Association is a bioscience sector. Basically, from Las Cruces to Los Alamos, the association is striving to develop a thriving biotechnology sector that can harness the state's workforce, research, and intellectual property. We connect innovators to funding, infrastructure, research, and talent. From promising young companies to established corporations and institutions, we provide opportunities for networking, education, and professional development. Today, we represent more than 100 member firms and community partners, including biotechnology, pharmaceutical, medical device, diagnostic, ag bio, and digital health companies, research and academic institutions, and service providers. We work closely with the Biotechnology Innovation Organization, Pharma, AdvaMed, the Council of State Bioscience Associations, and many other national associations that serve the life science community. Basically, we advocate for our industry and represent our members in the sector with elected officials at the regional, state, and federal levels. We are a 501c6. We collaborate with governmental affairs representatives from J&J, Amgen, Genentech, BMY, Novo Nordisk, and others on issues that are important to our members and New Mexico residents. We collaborate with the state, counties, and city economic development organizations, as well as chambers of commerce. We provide our members with opportunity to showcase and market their services at the annual Bio International Convention, as well as at regional conferences where they have the opportunity to pitch investors and make strategic connections. As you are looking for new opportunities, you can access UNM Bio's website and click on individual member firms. Many list their current job openings. For example, today, if you go on MRI Global, you'll find 19 job opportunities. They are not presenting here today, but they probably have added 150 jobs in the last 18 months. That firm is now second to Intel in terms of being New Mexico's second largest manufacturer, and they've done a tremendous job over the last couple years. why I and others are so highly focused on the NM bioscience sector, and why we expect the ABQ metro area to become a bioscience hub over the next 5 years. Primarily because in the last 10 years, the bioscience sector has led the state in industry-related patents, 683. As a result, there have been more than 150 startup companies that have spun out of UNM's Health Science Center, New Mexico State University, New Mexico Tech, Innovation Rainforest, and Los Alamos Labs. Oops, didn't realize it wasn't, I wasn't seeing you eye to eye. Let me just correct that. And
Greg, I think you muted yourself.
okay.
There he is.
Yeah, I can't handle both at once. Our first success story today is Alex Coughlin of Nature's Toolbox, also better known as NTX. So Alex, if you will pick up from here.
Thank you, Maggie, Monica, and Greg for organizing this. This is a great opportunity to present what we do. I hope we can live up to the expectation that you have. So NTX is or Nature's Toolbox is a company that we founded with the goal to develop technology that allows to produce vaccines and protein therapeutics faster and more efficient in a smaller footprint, to first of all being able to turn around manufacturing cycles significantly faster, and on the other hand to produce cleaner material on a smaller footprint, so more efficient to make life savings vaccines, oncology drugs, and other protein therapeutics more broadly available. For that, 5 years ago, we started the company Nature's Toolbox to really focus on biomanufacturing processes and on the bioinformatics that is required to accelerate drug development. For that, the company has developed multiple approaches, multiple platforms. One is a in vitro transcription translation system to actually really in high quality produce proteins. Antibodies is a good example here, and enzyme replacement therapies. Developed a platform for mRNA manufacturing to actually support vaccine development, vaccine production, and on top of it also enzyme replacement therapies and RNA encoded vaccines and antibodies. The third platform is actually a software package that we developed to explore more the natural product space, to actually really effectively search for small molecules. And basically, just as a quick summary, how this looks like. So basically, we developed a system to produce mRNA for pharmaceutical application very quickly, and a second system to produce proteins in the same manner. The huge advantage of going in vitro is that the system is significantly higher reproducible. It is cleaner. Everything is known. It is much better controlled than a cell culture. So really the idea is to implement this and drive the technology to the point that it can actually replace fermentation processes in pharmaceutical industry to actually allow an improved scalability, and on top of it, reduce the cost associated with manufacturing. What we see is in our interaction that this results in a shortened timeline and reduced footprint, as mentioned, and in a reduced waste, which actually results in that we have a number of collaborators and that we form multiple partnerships to not only explore the technology, but to implement this and use for the development of new drugs, where simply the development so far hasn't been possible based on the complexity of those compounds. For that, and with our move to Rio Rancho, so we are currently still in Santa Fe, but By the end of May, we believe we will be operational out of Rio Rancho. I'm sorry. So we move closer to Albuquerque, and we're excited about this. And we have a number of positions to fill. We actively look for chemical engineer and system engineer position. We look for at least a handful of biochemists. So basically on all levels, from Bachelor of Sciences to a PhD level for associate and scientist positions. We are looking for computational chemists and bioinformatics, people with bioinformatics background. We actively look for an analytical scientist with background in pharmaceutical sciences for the development of analytical assays. And we are always open and welcome interns from the biochemistry and pharmaceutical sciences departments. If you go to our website, there is a field called Open Roles, and feel free to submit your CV there. I can promise you it will be reviewed, and we get back to you as soon as we can. So I try to make it very compact. Please feel free also to reach out to me anytime. And you can find my email on the website. What we offer is competitive pay. We offer free healthcare, including vision dental for employees, and reduced for family members. And we have free short and long-term disability insurance included, 20 days PTO plus an additional 5 paid holidays. And the company has set up a 401k to actually and contributes for the employees there. We offer parental leave of a significant amount to actually support families. And we definitely can offer a collaborative and great work environment at the company. Thank you. Thank you. Greg, you're on mute.
Thank you, Alex. I'll wait till Greg figures out the unmute stuff.
The reason I muted is I've got 2 dogs in here and I'm waiting for them to try to jump up and see all of you and get involved.
I'm looking at my dogs too, Greg.
Okay. All right, I'm keeping it off unmute for the rest of this show. Okay, Chuck Hall from BioFlight.
Okay, let me grab the file and try to share my screen here. That showing up?
Yep.
Great. Perfect. Okay, so BioFlight is a relatively new company, but I'll give you a little bit of background. And we are an instrumentation company. Alex just gave a great brief on a company developing new technology for production of valuable compounds, and we're working on an instrument that detects and measures those compounds. It's a biological mass spectrometer, and it's meant, typically these kind of machines are used in laboratories, and we're in the process of making it smaller and less expensive and fully autonomous and automated so that it can operate right in the plant and make measurements inline during manufacturing processes for pharmaceuticals as well as for air monitoring and things of that nature. So I'll talk a little bit about that as I get in here, and I'll keep it real brief. I'm not going to be able to cover this slide in too much detail, but basically it's autonomous, rapid detection of bioaerosols, but also we're moving into liquid analysis as well. And so real-time, near real-time monitoring of contaminants in air and in liquid streams is basically what we're working on. So the markets for that, just real quickly, there are twofold. There's the defense and security market for monitoring for hazardous bioaerosols. There's also a pharmaceutical market that's also interested in airborne microbes, but also that's where the liquid piece comes in. So biopharma and monitoring contamination in things as basic as water. Biopharmaceutical facilities use a huge amount of water, and they can't tolerate basically any pathogens in the water. So we're working on that problem as well. got a small team in Albuquerque that we started in 2020. We're about 12 people right now, and we're expecting to probably double over the next year. We're working on raising a Series A financing right now. I hope to have that completed in the next couple of months, and that'll certainly kickstart our hiring in a significant way. So the history of this technology is it was actually started out at Johns Hopkins 20 some years ago, almost 25 years ago, and by a colleague of mine actually. And in 2013, he and I started a company. The technology got invented, and then it sort of died. And we picked it up and have been pursuing it through some SBIR programs and things through a company called Zeteotech. And then just this past year, about a year ago, we decided to spin out a company called BioFlight, which I lead, and it's based here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And its whole purpose is to develop and commercialize this technology. And so we have an exclusive license to all the IP from Zeteotech. So that's sort of where we're at. And there's a lot of need in the security space. This slide kind of talks to what's being done today in the BioWatch program. And we're trying to bring some technology to the table that will allow these kinds of threats, terrorism type related threats in the air, be able to detect those and identify specific agents within 5 minutes of an event. To do that, we built a lot of automation into the machine. If we receive a trigger signal that tells us, hey, there's something that could be suspicious, we can grab the sample, process it, measure it, identify the agents, and do all of that using our mass spectrometer, all in the box. It's all fully automated, and it all happens in under 5 minutes. We've got prototypes that we've built, and I'll show you those on the next slide. As I mentioned, there's 3 markets. We're looking at critical infrastructure and then Department of Defense applications of it. And then the bioproduction and biopharma market is starting to move a little quicker. We're having some conversations with major pharmaceutical companies and finding some real interest in what we're doing and being able to bring this kind of technology from the lab to the plant and put it online. Here's pictures of some of the products we're building. We build an aerosol trigger sensor, which monitors the air. That's the BioSense, the second one. That triggers the mass spec, which is the picture on the left. And we've got this to a pre-production prototype stage. We've built a few of these, and we're prepared to build about 6 to 10 more this year. And so it's coming along. And on the right half of the picture is a new product that we've just launched. It's an air sampler, the Z720 BioCapture, and we've paired it with a PCR instrument that's been on the market for a long time and is very proven. And what we're showing is these two things together can detect airborne coronavirus on site and in under an hour. So we're launching that product right now, and hoping that we haven't missed the curve. It would have been nice to have this product ready a year ago, but it takes a while. And so we're trying to directly address the issue of workplace safety and schools and all of that. How can we know if our workplace is safe? And we think the best way to do that, sample the air and get a real-time reading in the field on site. So those are the kinds of products we're developing and launching. And I'll skip that. We've got a pilot we've been doing for the last year in the Pentagon on the mass spectrometer. The picture shows one of the Pentagon personnel running the machine, reloading a cartridge, and shows a machine there on the left. We're expecting that they will probably lease or buy a couple systems from us this year and expand that and run those in parallel to their existing system. Our system, the big advantage that we have is that it has no consumables, and so it can run for a month without really any attention being paid to it, and that's really just a breakthrough technology to be able to do that and not have a high consumable cost associated with it. Military and then biopharmaceutical, those are the directions we're heading down in the future. Our team here in Albuquerque, myself, I've got a very experienced senior VP of engineering who's worked at at Inlight, and then for the last 15 years in various companies, he's worked with me. And we're looking to hire a number of positions. The CTO is one we're hoping to fill very soon. But we have positions in operations and manufacturing. We're going to need to build an installation team. So that would involve a lot of travel. And then we have opportunities to support the R&D and future development as well. Looking for people with backgrounds in sensors, microfluidics, hardware development, engineers of all flavors, electrical, mechanical, chemical. So those are the kinds of folks we hire, and we're expecting to be adding at least a dozen positions over the year. Our benefits package is very similar to what Alex just showed. I don't have a slide on it, but I wanted to say we have a 401k, full health care, and a stock option plan as well. I'll leave it at that, Greg.
Okay, terrific job. Thank you. Sandia Bio, Tony Pino and Janet Penna.
Great, thanks, Greg. Thanks, everyone. Maggie, it's just great to be back with you all. This is such a tremendous program that we were excited to be involved with from the very beginning, and it's great to be with you again. I'm going to introduce Dr. Janet Pena. She was a direct result, or a little bit indirect result, of the STEM Boomerang. We met her at this event. We connected a little bit later, and she's now our Chief Scientific Officer. I'm going to let her tell you all the exciting things that we have going on.
Thank you, Tony. Let me just go ahead and share this screen here.
Charles needs to end his screen share.
Oh, okay.
Trying to figure out
his screen share so we can get in.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
That's okay. We're only scientists.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. I see the menu. Sorry about that, everybody.
No problem.
Let me get over to there.
Let me see.
Stop share. Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Share screen. So many options. Okay, I found it. Okay. Hello, everyone. Well, as Tony mentioned, it's a pleasure to be here. I actually was one of the lead volunteers for the first STEM Boomerang that before was called New Mexico Educated Workforce, if I remember correctly. I worked with Maggie very closely. It was really fun. And surprisingly, or I guess not surprisingly, as we kept in communication, I came across this position through Maggie, and it was a perfect match with this team, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it now. So we're in Sandia Biotech. The image that you see in front is actually where we're located at, which is the West Enterprise Building. This is a business incubator for startups. We're located on Broadway and Lomas, so just a couple of blocks down the road or west to UNM. And so the start of Sandia Biotech, as any origin story, there was a problem that was identified. The idea that fluorescent assays and their technology was lacking on what it could deliver in the case of disease diagnostics and treatment. And so came in Sandia Biotech with a goal, which was to create a company that would make an impact in science and medicine, to provide researchers with tools that could enable them to speed up fluorescent research or findings, and also diagnostic research. So what I'm showing you here is just some of the collective products that we already have. All of the protein expression, protein folding, protein detection, protease activity detection, all of these come from nanotechnology that have been commercialized. And they're really related to the split GFP technology. So this is technology that can be used in a variety of assays and in a diverse way. It can be used even for biosensor technology. And we also have GPR agonists and antagonists that have been commercialized from UNM and NMSU. And one of the big products that we're focusing on right now are our fluorobody technology. And that's what I'm showing you here. These are antibody analogs that are inherently fluorescent. The reason why this is important is because conventional antibodies that are used to detect something come with problems when it comes to variation from lot to lot. And within that also when it comes to conjugation with dyes and affecting the binding sites that will actually find the proteins that we want to identify or that are important in the cases of diagnosis. So this technology allows for several advantages, but one of the big advantages that it has is that it has that unique 1-to-1 ratio that can allow for true quantitation of a certain protein. Our fluorobodies also allow us to be very diverse in the projects that we can get involved in. And that's kind of one of the fun parts with this. We have focused heavily on cancer. We do have a library of about 100 plus fluorobodies now, but we are expanding and we can do work with infectious diseases as well, or other malices that maybe can be looked at with biomarkers or fluorescent biomarkers. And so all of this is achieved with a small group, but we are diverse in our core competencies. The image that you see here, you already know Tony. He is the president of the company. He has a business background. And so he is able to put us in close contact with potential partners and people that can, can be a good fit for our technology as we grow together. And then the person that you see, I guess, to my left, it would be, or to your left as well, would be Adrian Rubio. He is the VP and CEO at this time, and he has diverse expertise in biotech, 23 plus years. He has experience in biochemistry, virology, and within it also looking at product development. And then to my right is actually our angel investor, Jerry Landgraf. And so he's also our chairman, and he's the one that has made all of this or most of this possible for us to exponentiate our fluorobody technology into the marketplace and grow it as much as possible. When it comes to my background, I actually graduated from UNM, as we mentioned before. I have expertise in molecular biology, invertebrate biology. I also am familiar with parasitology, epidemiology. So it's a diverse cohort, and this is one of the strengths that we have in the company. And we are looking for an intern this summer. And so if you are interested in interning with us, go ahead and email me your resume. Preferentially, we want someone with some background knowledge on molecular biology and tissue culture, but we, as I've experienced, we are all mentors in this company. We like teaching people things. So just go ahead and send us your resume and we can take a look. Long term, we do have a very defined plan for growth. So by the next year, we are looking to further our R&D with finding people that have expertise in the study of fluorescence, people that are familiar on how to automate technology, and also marketing so that we can drive the exposure into the marketplace. And just to get you more interested in our technology, we do have a variety of different partners. Right now we have a couple of different ways at looking at our data. Microscopy or fluorescent microscopy is one of them. Alumni is a great microscopy company that has simplified fluorescence microscopy, and they're located in California. Confocal is actually an international partner from the Netherlands, and with them we were able to do live cell imaging of our anti-HER2-RFP fluorobody. So what you see here are SKBR3 cells, which are the model for metastatic breast cancer. And so you can see that the cells are on fire. It's a company that has developed a rescanning technology. So it's something that you can consider as you come work with us. It's things that you will be exposed to. And then we have Civista, which is actually a virtual reality company located here in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And it's great because we can look at our proteins and how we're designing them. And it's a feedback loop, a collaboration where they can learn from us and we can learn from them. And with that, I am done. Any questions?
Janeth, are you ongoing developing new antibodies, or you're trying to make sure, improve the fluorescence capabilities of the antibody?
We are also working on that. So we do have the goal of not only new antibodies, but increasing the fluorescence. That's always one of the main goals within this process. Any other questions?
Well, I'm interested. There's another company in town, and Indica Labs. I don't know if you know them, but Ann Helibus and a number of our people are there, and Indica is growing really, really well, and it does analysis of microscopy slides. And so let me introduce you to them. I think you guys will really have a wonderful collaboration, possibly.
That would be perfect.
I know. I'd love to do this. I love New Mexico for this.
Okay, we'll now move to Tony Quiones from Bright Path Labs.
Okay, I am going to try to get my screen to share here. New share, and oh boy. Sorry about this, everybody. Do we have it now?
Yeah, your first slide's up.
Okay, excellent. Okay, sorry about the delay there. So it's been fantastic to hear all the comments about New Mexico, because I think I came here actually in 1984 as a college wrestler at University of New Mexico. Unfortunately, I transferred out and went back to Iowa to complete my my college and university. It was kind of interesting when I got an invitation to come back to New Mexico, because I at first hesitated, but only quickly realized is that this is such an underrepresented location for amazing technology and people. We have been able to accelerate our company's progress, I think probably by 3 to 4 years, just by some of the collaborations we've been able to have with some of the people at Lanel, some of the alums. We're located at the Santa Fe Business Incubator, and it's been an absolute a joy to be able to set up our lab there and be able to work with some of the people up here in Santa Fe, Albuquerque, and Los Alamos. So very happy to be here. So a little bit about Bright Path. We are an advanced manufacturing platform. We recognized several years ago, right about the same time, well, unfortunately, the FDA recognized that there's a real problem in manufacturing in the United States in making medicines. About 85% of them are made in India and China, and it's left us, as we saw last year, with chronic shortages in really key areas of medicine. So a part of those problems is certainly a national security risk by having the majority of your medicine being made offshore. And then not only that, the technology is completely outdated. The FDA has said some of the technology used to manufacture medicines are some of the same technologies that potato chip factories were using in the 1950s, and that's not an exaggeration. So what ends up happening is there's a chronic drug shortage, and primarily in orphan and rare disease, which for some companies that can lead to an opportunity to tackle those drugs, manufacture them, and drive up the prices. So our drugs end up remaining high, and that's not good. So one of the solutions in that we've uncovered and been working with the FDA on is to be able to integrate a a number of different new types of technology. So what we started with is I acquired in 2013 a patent portfolio, and in that patent portfolio, we've been able to have a hardware. It's a continuous flow hardware that is scaled in a number of different industries. And what I identified with my background was there was a need to integrate software, firmware, upgrade it. It's actually created really. And we did that over a number of years and integrated in some AI, ML components in order for us to have real-time visibility of what is happening in the technology as it's doing the chemical reactions in our reactor. What makes us incredibly unique is that there's a number of continuous flow reactor technologies out there, but one of the biggest challenges is to go from a milligram to a gram to a kilo to a metric ton. And that challenge is really what has held continuous flow from really making a breakout, but that is our strength. That is what we do. And adding in the ability to measure in real time what is occurring in the reaction process is something that the FDA really got excited about and has jumped on and helped move us through their emerging technology program. So we've got a number of different partners. Quartic AI is one of the software partners that we have. Sparta Systems, which is the #1 quality management system in the world. Last week, we just signed an agreement with Mallinckrodt. They run 34% of all the controlled substances in the United States, and they want us to teach them how to utilize advanced manufacturing to tackle some of their issues. Stanford University School of Medicine, we have a contract with them working on some COVID-19 drugs and some of the building blocks to some mRNA products with them, and we're doing that up here in Santa Fe. So it's been a lot of fun working with them over the last several years. Medicines for All Institute, which is a Gates-backed organization, has asked us to focus on medicines that are primarily utilized and needed in developing nations, like HIV drugs, tuberculosis drugs, and the FDA Emerging Technology Program. We were accepted into that last year and have been aggressively working with them. The EPA has been fantastic. They put about $28 million in research and development with us over about a 15-year period, and which is absolutely fantastic because it's working with the labs is a great way to build the business and get expertise. So the green chemistry aspect of our work is now becoming important, and some of the big pharma companies have approached us and asked us how we can work with them to reduce not only the footprint of the size of a facility, but also making those medicines cleaner. So I'm not going to dive too deep into the technology itself, but we have a spinning tube-in-tube reactor that is proprietary. We have 9 patents on it, and it essentially allows us to work in a size of a shoebox, and you can set it on a bench top or into a hood and make up to 7 kilos of product in a very small footprint of small molecules, of course, but they're looking at other ways to create other synthetic development routes. So our market opportunity is ginormous. In the CDMO, it's a large, fragmented, internationally focused industry. And the timing has been great because now the regulatory push from the FDA moving towards agile manufacturing, there's shift in demands, different types of products that are needed, personalized medicine, the emphasis on safety of not only the drug, of having your ability to have traceability about how it's made, when it's made, and all that data around it, now allows us to partner with different types of outsourcing opportunities. So this is our hardware right here. That's a very small benchtop research and development unit that we have up in Santa Fe. And we just manufactured a new one that's going to go into our facility in North Carolina. So here's the another component of what we do in this closed loop AI ML control system is really important to the FDA because they want to be able to see how these molecules are made throughout the process without having to go visit the facility. We can provide that, that data to them real time of this is how the chemistry is being made, and the end product, it still has to go through the validation studies, but they're now, because of continuous flow, are able to see what is occurring real time. And that is a real important to them, which makes it very important to us. So a big part of our strategy is our commercial facility is here in Santa Fe, and our intent is to be a distributed model, be in a number of different locations throughout the United States, and partner with research institutes, commercial institutes. That's where we think that our growth opportunity is going to be. So we feel we have a number of advantages over others. We've scaled it at large scale in the past. We're on target right now to make the first FDA approved continuous flow produced drug in August of this year, and working on a weekly basis with the FDA to get that done. And so we're really excited about that. It's been a heck of a ride over the years, but I think one of the great things about this has been the partnerships that we've been able to develop here in New Mexico. It's been absolutely great. So we're looking to hire right now analytical chemist, biochemist, data analyst. We're mathematicians, astrophysicists, any type of people with background. We need to teach people how to do the chemistry, how to work with our technology. So the background and the degree is less important to us. It's the willingness to learn and roll up your sleeves and understand that there's new ways of getting chemicals to react. And we're a company that is doing that. So that's all I got. And so, yes, we are looking for we do have paid internships, and absolutely. My email address is, I'll send it in the room here. You can go ahead and send it directly to me. I am the CEO and founder of the company, and I really do like to be hands-on with the people that we bring in. I think it helps with our culture, but then also, understanding that the title of CEO just means that's my title. I like to be involved and engage in all aspects of the business and learn alongside of you. So that's BrightPath.
Tony, I have a question. This is so exciting. I saw you a couple of years ago, and you were it seemed like you were just starting out. And this is very exciting, very exciting. So when you're doing these continuous flow reactions, can you add things in at the time and so that you can do multi-stage reactions too, get it to a certain point and then add something and get it to another point?
Absolutely. That's, we've done chemistries that are 40 steps and brought them down to 6 steps. We've got chemistries that, 15 down to 1 single unit reaction. So that's where I said, like, all types of alternative thinkers that need to come in, because I think there have been a couple times where some of the researchers we worked with said, look, you're doing things that we've never seen before, but don't go out there and tell anybody because they're going to think you're crazy.
Yeah, well, I wish we could have a green chemistry meeting, because John Warner is somebody I met a long time ago, and he's in Massachusetts, big guy in green chemistry. And we have a few companies that are that are in that or moving into that. I think it's a wonderful space for New Mexico.
Yeah, we're excited. Love being here.
Tony, quick question. What is your focus in North Carolina?
Well, we needed to move very quickly because we had a client that needed a product demand. And so we had a walk-in ready CGMP facility that was already built. So it allowed us essentially to fabricate our platform here in New Mexico, and then we'll be shipping it on Monday to North Carolina. So that way it's just a way to accelerate the CGMP process. Now, we're out of space already here in New Mexico. And so I'm looking like, Alex, you got some extra space you want to lease, or anybody else? We need more space.
Okay, well, you're putting your email out there, and I think I've got 1 or 2 brokers online today, so they may be contacting you. Collier seems to be really focusing on the life sciences. Okay, no, appreciate that. With that, we'll go to our cleanup hitter, Paul Orr of Spartina, who is also located at the Santa Fe Business Incubator. They're well represented today.
Right. Well, thank you, Greg and Tony. Let's see. Can you see my screen? Or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Mhm.
So Spartina Biotechnologies is let me start out with a recent symposium where Dr. Fauci was a keynote speaker, and he was basically pleading for antiviral therapeutic treatment for COVID-19. The vaccines have been amazing. There's no doubt about it. I just got my second shot on Tuesday and was out of commission yesterday, but feeling much better today. And but there's going to be a lot of people that are anti-vaxxers that aren't going to get the vaccine, and also a vaccine won't help you if you've already gotten infected. So we're working on that at Spartina Biotechnologies. We're based in Santa Fe, right across the hall from Bright Path Labs. And we're actually developing a platform technology for precision delivery of RNA molecules to cells and organs. And we're starting with RNA molecules that can destroy the SARS-CoV-2 virus because of the urgency of the need. But there's plenty of other applications down the road. And the problem with siRNA, or small interfering RNA, is that it's like a snowflake. You put it in the bloodstream, it's just going to dissolve, and it will be completely ineffective. So what we're really working on is developing a natural delivery system. We call it Siren, it's kind of a play on siRNA. And it's using vesicles, like little bubbles called exosomes, that can not only contain the siRNA, but take it in the body to the cells where it's needed. So we have a targeting mechanism that we can put on the surface of the exosome, which will bond to sites on cells. And in this case, we're targeting receptors that the SARS-CoV-2 virus also targets, such as the ACE2 cell in lung tissue and cardiovascular tissue. A little background on RNA interference. It was discovered in 1998 by Drs. Fire and Mello. And actually, we brought out of retirement one of the first discoverers of this. He was actually here in Santa Fe last summer. But he was a plant microbiologist that was working on developing a intensely purple petunia. And so he thought by inserting the gene in the petunia plant that would produce, is known to produce the purple coloration, you would get more purple. And it turned out to be the opposite. The cells have an innate immune system, and it recognized that this was not a natural gene. And so it basically chopped it up along with the gene that produces the purple color. So it's known to be very effective at shutting off genes. This technology won the Nobel Prize for Fire and Mello in 2006. And it had a lot of promise in pharmacy. And in 2010, the first clinical trial was approved, and it just wasn't working. And so pharma's kind of abandoned it at that point. And with the with COVID-19, I guess one of the silver linings is that it's really accelerated research into RNAs, messenger RNA, which the vaccines are, but also in siRNA and microRNAs and other kinds of RNAs that can potentially revolutionize medicine. So our platform technology essentially is we're using microorganisms to produce the siRNA and the exosome delivery system. We're starting out with an injectable delivery system. It can be delivered in other ways, orally, as well as inhalants and potentially even skin patches. But the basic technology, once it's in the body, will be the same. It travels through the bloodstream and then it bonds to receptors on cells. And this picture in the lower right corner is a 3D model of the human ACE2 receptor with a SARS-CoV-2 virus bonded to it. And the little red dot is where it actually fuses with the cell and then injects the viral RNA into the cytoplasm of the cell. We would basically target the same receptors, so that would give us the ability to protect cells that are either vulnerable or already infected with the siRNA. And then once in the cell, it has to match up perfectly. There's 23 base pairs that have to match perfectly with the viral gene and sequence, and it shuts it down so that it can't reproduce essential proteins such as the spike protein, or we can actually target multiple genes, which would reduce or eliminate the ability for the virus to mutate, and then the new variant would be effective in escaping this treatment. We're targeting very stable genes in the virus and that don't mutate often. And so it can essentially knock it out. And the off-target effects are very, very small. 4 to the 22nd power, which is essentially, it's about 1 in 18 trillion. And it doesn't affect any other human genes. So we started this research just over a year ago, and we got our lab set up at the Santa Fe Business Incubator in October of this year, or last year. And we expect to be to proof of technology by the fourth quarter of 2021, in which point we'll go into phase 1 clinical trials. And this is an area where we're not sure which way it's going to work out, whether we partner with a large pharmaceutical company or maybe one of the other companies that are here in New Mexico to go through clinical. We have contracted with a research organization that can take us through all of this. But at any rate, we hope to be on the market in a year from proof of technology. Once we get to proof of technology, then we'll be able to hire people and really start expanding our team. Right now we have 3 scientists working on this full-time, including a bioinformatics scientist and 2 bench scientists. And so we're running pretty mean and lean, but we also have a great scientific advisory board, people that have been working on Operation Warp Speed from the beginning, and people that have gone through these clinical trials and are working in Washington and New York with the CDC. So our future needs will need lab technicians, molecular biologists, bioinformatics scientists. We design these molecules in silico and then build them out in the laboratory, which gives us a much higher probability of success. We can model these in three dimension, these molecules, and then we can test them to see if they're going to work or not. We'll also be needing clinical and regulatory specialists. The CROs that we've contracted with can provide some of that in the interim, but long term we would want to bring it in-house. And we'd like to have flesh out our management team and interns. And also I would just point out that one of the things that has been really helpful in starting up a company here, a biotech company, is all the support groups that are around in this area in northern New Mexico. The New Mexico Consortium has been a great partner with us. They're in Los Alamos. Regional Development Corporation and NMSBA has been helpful this year, and New Mexico Economic Development Department, as well as the Santa Fe Business Incubator. So thank you.
Any questions for Paul? Or any of our other speakers that have preceded Paul? Okay, sounds like it's lunchtime. Okay. Maggie, I guess turn it over to you then.
Oh, I think I'll turn it over to Monica, but I wanted to say that, Specifica is a small company, Paul, but I've already had people write me about you before I even knew about your company. So I've been looking it up.
Martina Biotechnology. Specific is they're doing similar research. But
oh, sorry, I apologize. I apologize. My dogs went nuts. Anyway, so all right. Well, thank you. Let's put all your information up then. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Right. So thank you, everyone. That was a wonderful session, and we learned so much about the cool biotechnology companies here. Just several of them, but there are many. So that's great. So next, we're going to do our breakout sessions. And so for the space and the technology sections, that you will be going to a new Zoom. So I put the Zoom link into the chat, and I'll put it back up again. And so you'll click on that and it'll take you to a different Zoom. For the biotech, so what we're currently on, just stay on this Zoom and then we'll do breakout rooms from here. So if anyone has any questions, comments, concerns, I'm here for you. And again, I'll put those links into the chat so that you have those and are ready to go. I want to also thank everyone for joining. I want to thank the UNM Alumni Association for hosting this event for everyone. It's wonderful to see all the companies that are hiring, and also I want to thank all the job seekers and the alumni and the professionals that are on the call. So feel free to reach out to us at Boomerang New Mexico. Our email address is info@stemboomerang.org. I'm sorry. Our website has all the information, and there's lots of resources on here, so you'll be able to see. I also encourage all of you to take note of the contact information that was put into the chat for any of the hiring managers or company reps that were on the call. It's always important to reach out to them if you have questions about any positions, or to share your resume if you think that you'd be a good fit for their company. The video is recorded, so this whole Zoom session is recorded and will be put onto our website, so you can go back and review any of the sessions. It also will be on our Facebook page, and it will be saved there indefinitely, so you can go through it and scroll through the video to the section that you would like to look at, so that you can reference back to any presentation information that you maybe didn't get or wanted to re-reference. So with that, I just thank you all, and we'll see you in the breakout rooms.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, so as people shuffle to their breakout rooms, I'm going to set up rooms here in this room. I'm sorry, in this Zoom. So this will be all for the bio and biotech. So each room will be a different company. Then you can choose what company you'd like to go to and hopefully ask questions one-on-one with the company's reps and exchange information. So I'm setting that up real quick. It'll take me about 1 minute. There should be a way for you to choose what room you want to go into. So each company will have their own room. Is there a way for you to be able to click on the breakout rooms and pick?
Yes.
Great. And so, of course, the company rep, please go to your individual room.
Okay.
Thank you.
Boy.
How do we see those rooms again?
So on the bottom, there's a breakout room that has like 4.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Click on that, and then I think you should be able to choose the room you want to go to.
Okay. Breakout rooms.
And there's also one if you want to talk to us at Boomerang, or the Alumni Association will be on as well.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm Mark Jelonic from Aerospace. I had to call in. I can't connect via Zoom. How do I get to my company room?
Right, so you'll have to actually connect to the Zoom to a different Zoom. Let me see what the call-in. Can you do it through the link, or is it a call-in?
I'm trying through the link, and so I can't get into Zoom for some reason. So I've dialed into the number I had on the Zoom meeting.
Let me see. I can put it into the chat, but that won't help you because you're calling in.
No.
So I'm sorry, what is her name? I'll send you an email.
Mark Jelonic.
Oh, yes.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, I will send you the link to that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Will the breakout rooms for tech be later?
So the breakout room for tech will be a different Zoom link, and you'll see it in the chat. Click on that link, and it'll take you to the tech Zoom room. Do you see it in the chat? It'll take you to a completely different Zoom, but that'll be for tech.
Okay, I got it.
So we still have 21 people on this room. did you not have a room that you would want to go to? Oh, so Tanya, you've got to go to tech.
I am having trouble finding the breakout rooms on the screen.
So it's not going to, so in the chat, so did you want to go do space, a space company, a tech company, or a biotech company?
I'm planning on staying here at the biotech company.
Oh, great. So then if you go down to the bottom bar, there's like music, got video, all the different, and then breakout room should be in that section as well. And it's like 4 little cubes. If you click on that, it should allow you to choose the breakout room you want to go to.
I am not seeing that option. Yeah, I see participants, chat, share screen.
I'm not sure. Well, which one would you like to go to? And which company, and I can send you there.
Let me pull up the.
There's NTX, Bio. Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
BioFlight, Sandia Biotech, BrightPath Labs, and Spartina, and it's in order of.
BrightPath.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
You should go to that. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Did anyone else wanted to go to a room they weren't able to get into?
Yeah, I'm having the same problem as the lady before. Would you be able to send me, this is Eric Benner, over to the NTX breakout?
Yeah, I'm sending you now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I be on the wait list for BrightPath whenever she's done?
Yes, I will put you on.
Thank you.
Great.
Monica, I just can join another room or I need to stay in line?
Nope, you can join whatever room you'd like.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm so impressed. I'm so happy to be here.
Good. I'm happy you're here too. I hope that you found it fruitful, and stay in contact with us over email, and we'll meet offline as well.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Svetlana. Which one did you want to go to? And I can send you. Oh, I think you're already off. Great. And Tanya, are you there?
Monica?
Yes.
Hi, it's Greg. First, congratulations. Excellent, really good program. Second, can you send me to BioFlight?
Of course, I will right now. Thank you, Greg. It was wonderful. Thank you for moderating. Yes.
Okay, just came up.
Okay. And do we have? There's a few others on this room. If you want to go somewhere, please let me know. If not, we're here. We're happy to answer any questions. Connie's on the call as well. She's the director of the UNM Alumni Association. She can answer any questions that you may have. Hi, Connie.